Yeah, we done came from the bottom, mad that we up, but I don't hear him talking. Started with knowledge inside of my noggin. We took a dream and then we started blogging. Put my city on the map now, I'ma say how it is and now I'm back down. On the road to 100K, we finna act out. We gon' show them that we not just in the background. We the main event, we the main show. We the one that people always gon' pay for. FYF, we the best, no debate though. Number one sports channel, every angle. I'ma show them all how we ride. That sports talk show, we not like them guys. We playing it safe while they feather the lines. We pushing the narrative all the time. Like who to go in the game is not MJ. Kobe Bryant top 10, not what we say. I keep Elijah one is very overrated. Keep it real if it ain't fact, we don't say it. Now it's stable, we won't be ignored. We number one, especially when coming to sports. FYF bringing the heat here, of course. Where everything backed up with actual source. Everything backed up with actual source.
Nah, that's just passion. We love the game. You already know what it is. FYF. You don't got tough skin. You might as well not even come on in. Talk to 'em. FYF, blow the whistle, man, we too official. Better check the film, we not one of them. The greatest to ever ball above the rim. They wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Cut the small conversation, debate on major levels. This the playoffs, baby, bring that pressure, we never settle. Cross and spin, getting it in, I wanna win. That teamwork got us headed to the ship again. Oh, LeBron better than MJ? Cut it out, half these fans in the stands don't know what they talking about. Half-court jumpers, crowd going wild. FYF ranked number one, you better say it loud. Intellectual talk, but fuck your feelings. Elijah one too overrated, Kobe still a realist. Top 10 all time, now how they cut the line. Magic Johnson, Draymond Green, one in the same kind. Fuck your feelings, fast break, stop and pull a J. He got how many rings, nothing else to say. With the team, live streaming, play by play. This the dream, full steam on the road to 100K. FYF, blow the whistle, man, we too official. Better check the film, we not one of them. The greatest to ever ball above the rim. They wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Cut the small conversation, debate on major levels. This the playoffs, baby, bring that pressure, we never settle. Cross and spin, getting it in, I wanna win. That teamwork got us headed to the ship again. Started small, then turned into big dogs. They treat me like the GM, I just make the call. No matter who my op is, I'ma stand tall. Then pull up to the game, fresh like I just left the mall. 100K, 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 check the score. We gon' bust the shot clock, fans running to the floor. All I hear is go this and go that. Man, your team suck, hang it up like a coat rack. I love the game, I admit it, I can't quit it. Step in front of me, man, your ankles gon' get the business. Been a legend like Moses Malone, way ahead of my time. This the greatest sports show ever, I just had to remind. FYF, FYF, blow the whistle, man, we too official. Better check the film, we not one of them. The greatest to ever ball above the rim. They wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Cut the small conversation, debate on major levels. This the playoffs, baby, bring that pressure, we never settle. Cross and spin, getting it in, I wanna win. That teamwork got us headed to the ship again.
FYF Sports, man. Come on, man. We back. I appreciate everybody pulling up today. Got another show for you guys, man. Did I see Dreamers Pro live yesterday? Salute to Max in the chat. No, I did not see it. We got Masculine MJ says La Failure. Danny Mack, 3 things guaranteed in life: life, death, taxes, and LeBron losing in the playoffs. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Danny Mac, if you can tell me one player in NBA history that hasn't lost in the playoffs, I'll give you that comment. That would make sense. Anthony Edwards is the Randy Orton of the NBA. Salute. Yeah, Anthony Edwards is on a tear right now, y'all. I mean, some of these young players, y'all, I mean, it's just happening right in front of our eyes. They're turning that corner. I mean, look at Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers. I mean, I think we've looked at a lot of these teams as being young for so long because the older players are still here. And I think we kind of start to forget that these younger players are growing up right in front of our eyes. And I think just like it hit Isaiah Thomas and Larry Bird and those guys in the 80s, and things transitioned into the 90s. And then we had that transition from the 90s where the Karl Malones and the Pippins, right? Those guys, you know, the young players turned the corner. And as the 2000s hit, I mean, I just think right in front of our eyes, what we're seeing is we're just seeing a lot of these young players, especially the young players that are on organizations that are pretty solid. They're turning the corner. And, you know, I think the only thing you can do is you got to look to these young players and you just got to, you know, give them their props. Judah says, wonder how long it's going to take for me to get timed out. I don't time anybody out, Judah. I mean, if Judah, what I can do is I can make you a mod. So at least if I make you a mod, you don't have to cry about getting timed out. Because I honestly and truly, I don't time people out. So hold on, Judah. Let me go ahead and make you a mod real quick. All right, let's see what we got right here. And as a beast, oh no, I mean, there's a lot we can talk about with yesterday's game. There's gonna be a lot, obviously. Hey, Johnny, I got you as well. There's a Johnny, and let me take care of Judah. And the other thing I asked for people like Judah is just like you felt like people were unfairly timing you out, don't run around timing people out. Like, don't use the mod, you know, because there's a few people I'm going to have to snatch the wrench from, is that they run around just timing people out and block people. I look in my block section and I see people in there that don't belong. We got VVS says, LeBarbie needs to retire off my Lakers. LeBron needs to retire now. Okay. It's funny, VVS, that you say that. You know, because when we look at all of the empty years for the Lakers, when they didn't have a star and y'all were trash and getting ran through, I mean, has LeBron's tenure in LA been a failure? They did get one championship. That's one more championship than most teams get. Rudy outplayed LeBron and Luka. No, Rudy outplayed the Lakers' zone defense. Yesterday, Dexter, is just simple basketball. JJ Redick started the game off by saying, I'm not going to play Jackson Hayes. Okay. I don't like that strategy. If you're going to start the game off and say, I'm not going to play Jackson Hayes. Okay. I'm not a fan of that strategy, but okay, at least you got a plan. But then your next plan is, okay, we're going to start the game in zone. Okay, hold on. So you're not going to play Jackson Hayes, but you're going to play zone most of the game, which most zones require a big that can sit in the middle and just kind of rim protect, because the whole purpose of a zone is it literally dumbs down the defensive assignment for any big. So one, you say you're not going to play Jackson Hayes. Two, you go to a zone. And y'all think I'm surprised that Rudy Gobert had the best game of his playoff career? You go zone against a team with one of the best drivers in the game. And then Rudy Gobert is just literally back there on the back line of the defense, just collecting layups the entire game. What's the hardest thing to do out of zones, y'all? Rebound. When you go into a zone, the hardest thing to do is to rebound. So unless you have a guy in there that can rebound. So did it surprise me? I mean, it was just literally, this is like basketball 101. I mean, and obviously this is something, I don't know who the coaches were that came up with this philosophy, but it's just very simple. If you're going to go zone, you need a big inside. If you're going to go zone, you need to gang rebound. They did neither. And Rudy Gobert literally had the best game of his playoff career. I mean, we don't even have to go through the film, right? It's just basic basketball 101. All I need to do is tell you guys, JJ said he's not playing Jackson Hayes, and then the Lakers went zone. Should be no surprise that Rudy went ballistic. And that's just kind of what happened in this game, man. Lakers, JJ Redick, LeBron James, and this whole team, the front office, I mean, one of the first teams, obviously, to get ousted amongst some of the other ones. Their postseason or, their offseason has now begun. And I think, as these teams start to get eliminated, we're just going to be doing these live streams to kind of talk about what's next for all of these teams. And so with the Lakers, what's next for the Lakers? Well, one thing is that I think the number one thing you have to do if you're the Laker organization is, and it'll be a tough conversation, but I think you have to tell Luka Doncic that you need to get in shape. Because obviously, out of all the things that Nico Harrison said about Luka Doncic, I think that's the one thing that stood out over the last couple of weeks and in this playoffs, is that Luka is just not very well conditioned. And I'm a firm believer in that your conditioning plays a significant role in how effective you can be as a defender, whether you're a good or bad defender. But when you get tired on a basketball court, the first thing to go is your defense. And I think with Luka, we just saw a guy out there who was just preserving energy to play offense because he would get gassed too quickly. And it was one of the reasons why Minnesota picked him up full court, because now you got to fight to get up court. Now you have to fight to get into your offense. Now you have to fight to get your shots off. And everything Luka did, and even the announcer said it during the game, everything for the Lakers looked hard yesterday. It looked extremely difficult. Nothing looked easy, right? Even their grind when they fought back and took the lead, it felt difficult. Minnesota takes the lead back. Felt easy, right? And so these are the things you have to look to. Now, there are a couple of different factors that go into this going into the offseason. The Laker offseason is going to look kind of weird. I don't see any home run trades they can make. I don't see it, but are there some moves they could potentially make? Are there some players they could potentially target to make themselves a little bit better? Yes. If I'm the Lakers, I'm going to be looking to Orlando, looking at guys like Jonathan Isaac. All right. You're going to need defensive wings. All right. And, you got to figure these things out. Bob the Builder says sign and trade Reeves. I mean, look, you guys, I mean, these sign and trades, first of all, to do a sign and trade, Bob the Builder, it significantly handicaps your team, right? Because there are a lot of other implications due to the CBA that come with a sign and trade. So is a sign and trade for Reeves the most optimal thing for the Lakers to do? Probably not a sign and trade. Because there are other provisions that come with that sign and trade that are going to stifle you. Like, the hard cap and things of that nature. It'll put you at another disadvantage. It's just not worth it to sign and trade. I mean, unless you can get a really good deal out of it. PGH Big Dog says you can't have Reeves and Luka in the backcourt. Worst defensive backcourt in the league. I mean, it is. I mean, it defensively it doesn't look great. I mean, you got too many guys to target. But ultimately, it's going to be about what the Lakers prioritize, y'all. This is it's easy to say trade Reeves. I mean, that's the easiest thing to say. The problem with saying trade Reeves is that it feels like he's just one of the Lakers' favorites. It just does not feel like the Lakers have any investment in trading Reeves. Like, so for me to pretend as if that's a very viable direction to go, it would make sense if the Lakers have shown any inclination to want to trade him. I haven't seen that. He's one of the few on this roster that LeBron wanted to be here. I don't see it. And with the $12 million that he's making, I just don't see what value you can get back for him. Yeah, having Max Christie would have helped. Luka needs to stop crying for fouls. I mean, I said that about LeBron last year. I mean, it hurt. Rudy won that game. Yes, Rudy definitely won. I mean, yeah, he damn near had 30-20 game. He's looking like Wilt Chamberlain out there. Tyson said, nah, y'all said the defense was good. No, we said the defense was better without Anthony Davis. But I mean, there's a couple different things. If you would have told me that the Lakers in this game would have came out and playing zone without a big in the middle, like Jackson Hayes, I mean, there's so many things like we can say what this team can or can't do. I literally watched this team shut down OKC and run them off their own home court. We literally watched this team defensively hold Nikola Jokic to his worst game of the season. So when we say this team can defend, well, it's not like we're just saying it out of thin air. We've seen this team defend in ways that they haven't been able to defend over the last couple of years. We've seen it. And a lot that goes into being a good defense is scheme. This is not the scheme. They weren't playing zone to beat the Denver Nuggets. They weren't playing zone to beat OKC. I mean, I've always thought that zone was a panic concept, that you typically go into zones because you're panicking. And teams know that when you go into zone, it's typically because you don't feel you can guard them in man. But I just thought it was a panic. I thought they panicked for no reason. I thought they were going to zone where they didn't need to. And it cost them. We got mine right in the chat. He says LeBron hasn't been the same on offense. I mean, I just don't get y'all. Like, yeah, that is right. Hey, Johnny did text me before the game, y'all. He texted me literally like 5 seconds after the game started. First thing he said, Lamont, the Lakers are going to lose this game. They're not playing Jackson Hayes. And I said, I know. I see. And then when you bring in Maxi Kleber, it's just like, JJ, what are you doing, man? Maxi Kleber over Jackson Hayes? Has Jackson Hayes been that? Like, am I missing something? Or like, is it just me? Is it my eyes? Am I tripping or something? But has Jackson Hayes been that bad where Maxi Kleber can get into a playoff game over him? I don't know if it's just me. I thought Maxi Kleber I thought Jackson Hayes had actually kind of been good for the most part. But ultimately, this is what happens. And this is one of the reasons why, y'all, when I talk about, when we had these conversations about players, their legacies, winning and losing, this is one of the reasons why it's hard for me to just sit back and say, winning is the end all be all to any particular argument. This is why. Because as we've seen with Memphis, as we saw with Denver, as we saw obviously with some of the moves JJ made in the previous game and then last night, winning is just sometimes not always in the star player's hands. There are too many other factors. But I think what we're seeing right in front of our eyes is why you just kind of have to judge players for who they are and not necessarily judge them based on winning and losing. Because there are too many other factors that must be perfectly aligned for you to be a winning team. Bobby Builder said LeBron being the Lakers defender is a concern. He was their best defender. You know, he was their most active defender. He was their best post defender. I don't know if that's the case if they actually played Jackson Hayes. I think Jackson Hayes could have been their best post defender. Danny Mack says, yeah, but you can't dismiss winning. I can. I just did. I said winning is not the end-all be-all. It's just not. There's too many other factors that go into it that players cannot control. You know, and you know, in this particular series, I thought that Bron did everything perfectly. You know, I don't think there's nothing he could have done different that would have changed this outcome. That's the realization of this. He says you can't dismiss winning and remain credible. I don't know what that means, Danny Mack. I mean, you guys dismiss winning with Bill Russell all the time. I mean, you guys dismiss winning with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar all the time. Y'all dismiss winning when y'all see fit. You know, Danny Mack, and you hear it all the time, Danny Mack, when people are arguing. And it might not be you, but it might be somebody else. We hear it all the time in these debates. Somebody yells 6-0, and then somebody else yells Bill Russell. And then what do y'all say? Y'all start to wiggle and try to find reasons why Bill Russell's winning. Doesn't matter. And the fact that you guys can put context on Bill Russell's winning literally tells you that winning isn't always player driven. So it is what it is, man. Look, you know, the Lakers lost this one. You know, a lot of people, including myself, had the Lakers winning this series. And there were two teams in the West that I thought would be significant problems for the Lakers. I did not think Minnesota would be one of those teams. I thought the Clippers would be one of those teams. I thought Golden State would be one of those teams. I definitely did not see Minnesota posing this level of a threat. And they definitely showed us what type of threat they could be after winning that game one. And after they stole game one, it just seems like the Lakers were just playing panic mode basketball. They played panicked. They did not play like the confident team. They did not play like they were the better team, right? And two, I just did not see. I mean, outside of LeBron and maybe Rui at times, it almost kind of looked like a lot of the guys simply just kind of conceded to defeat, right? I like DFS's energy. But, you know, there's not too many players on this roster where it felt like they knew they could win the series. You know, Reeves looked defeated early. Luka looked very defeated at times. I mean, Jackson Hayes had really good energy when he was in the game. But when you bench him, it's just like, obviously he's defeated there. So, you know, it's unfortunate. So we got a $25 salute to Bezo the Prophet, man, one of the top donors of the channel. Make sure you guys, and I'm gonna pin that link to the comments for you. If you do want to donate, you can hit the link that I'm about to pin to the top of the comments. Go over to FYF Sports Clips where we were also live, and you can super chat from there. But we got Bezo the Prophet with the $25 super chat. He said it was hard to watch Rudy Gummy Bear destroy us. And you know, for me, it was not hard to watch. You know, I've always told people, I said Rudy Gobert the only thing that happened with Rudy Gobert is that the game changed on him. in the middle of his prime. But Rudy Gobert in any other era would be one of the greatest big men of all time. And if you stick a player like Rudy Gobert in the 90s, he could arguably be the greatest defensive big in NBA history. Games like this prove it. The game has just changed. Right? But and Minnesota did a good job of knowing, okay, if this is what y'all gonna do, then we're gonna consistently rely on Rudy Gobert to score. And when the one thing you got to say about Minnesota is that once they identify where the weakness is, make or miss, they're going to continuously go to you. There were multiple games where the answer was Jaden McDaniel. Make or miss, they went to Jaden McDaniel. Right? Multiple games they went to Julius Randle. Make or miss, they just live with the results. This is our best matchup here. And in this last game, they saw that Rudy Gobert was the answer. Consistently just being patient on offense, finding ways to get Rudy Gobert the basketball at the rim. And he did a good job. Oh, yo. Phone going crazy. But yeah, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna watch this. The only thing I really want to watch, and I think some of you guys saw, we saw LeBron's reaction post game. At the end of the day, the one thing I didn't hear yet was JJ Redick, right? Because if I'm a news reporter at the end of that game, I'm gonna have some very, very aggressive questions for JJ Redick. And so I want to see in this post game, did these reporters really go after JJ Redick the way they should have? Because there were a lot, and y'all know me. I'm not one to blame coaches for a ton. But man, oh man, when you look to some of the obvious issues with this Laker, with the opportunities that the Laker had, it's just hard to look away from some of the decisions that JJ was making and pretend as if those decisions didn't have a significant impact in the direction of this series. And I know people, last year was the reverse. I felt like a coach like Darvin Ham got far too much credit or far too much criticism for some of the things that went wrong. And I think this year, I think that JJ is getting far less criticism than he actually deserves. And B. Jones, I agree. JJ could be a great coach. And I think a lot of people forget that this is still just JJ's first year coaching basketball ever. And a lot of people just want it to be perfect from the start. And, it just does not happen like that for most coaches. But I still want to hear from JJ Redick because, because I just don't think this. I think that the solution to beating this Minnesota team, it wasn't as complex as he was trying to make it. I do feel that. And I think JJ made this far too complex. We got Hitman X with the super chat. He says, LeBron tried. I agree. Luka cried. I agree. Shannon lied. I agree. He said Wolves in 5, man. Salute to Hitman X, man. Hitting the people with. That might be one of the best ones we heard, man. LeBron tried. Luka cried. Shannon lied. Wolves in 5, man. Salute to Hitman X, one of the top donators of the channel, man, coming through. That's a good one right there, and that's all facts, man. That's all facts, man. And I can't be mad at it. Like the outcome that just happened, like how can you be mad at it? The Wolves literally came and took this series. They manhandled the Lakers from the start to the end. Right. And I was talking to somebody about this game, and I was basically saying the only way the Wolves lose this series if they beat themselves. And they did not beat themselves. Hold on, let me go ahead and pin this to the chat real quick. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. He said, let Hayes go down with the ship. Well, yeah. Yeah. Everyone should have been available last night. Hey, yeah, I know. I mean, if you're going to go out fighting, you might as well go out with a bang. I'm not going to go out and the only sub that I'm really bringing in is Maxi Kleba, a guy that hadn't played all year. Hadn't even practiced. It's craziness. Wally says, man, stop crying. Why do y'all always make stuff about somebody crying? We just talking about the game. It happened. Like, we can't talk about what happened. And you know the funniest thing about the people that always seem to be on the other side of the coin with LeBron and the Lakers is that they will be wrong about so many games. They all came out and said the Thunder was going to run through the Lakers in the regular season, and the Lakers collapsed them and blew them out in OKC. They all said Denver was going to blow them out, and then they held Luka to 11 points or something crazy like that. It's just like y'all were wrong so many times on some of y'all picks, and all y'all do is y'all just literally wait for that one game or that one series where the Lakers lose, and then you want to parade around as if I told y'all we was right the whole year. Bro, wins and losses happen, man. It's stupid, man. Like, come on, man. What happened is self-explanatory. No center, no rebounding, no defense. Okay. No, they went into what happened? It's not self-explanatory. They went into a zone. If you go into zone, you need a center on the court. They committed to not playing Jackson Hayes, so they struggled in the zone, and Rudy Gobert went ballistic. Because the last time I checked, Wally, it was people like you that was running around saying Rudy Gobert was trash. Y'all was the ones telling us that Rudy Gobert was trash. And then Rudy Gobert proceeds to have a 27-24 game, and now all of a sudden y'all parading around like y'all said he was the best thing since sliced bread. And this is the thing. Everybody says it's crime. So, well, first of all, y'all come into my this is what's so weird. People like Peter Bagjuice and y'all come into my comments crying that I'm not going live to talk about the game. Then when I do go live to talk about the game, y'all proceed to just come into the chat and say, stop talking about the game. Y'all know I only did this live because y'all was the ones crying about me not going live. Come on, y'all. All right, hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me do this. I'm about to drop the link as well, man. Bring y'all up here to cook on this topic as well. As we watch this post game from JJ Redick, make sure that you, if you would like, hit the link pinned to the top of the chat. It will take you over to FYF Sports Clips where you can super chat if you have any comments that you want me to directly address. If we need to stop the presses, if you have a comment. But that is now pinned to the top of the chat. Let's go ahead and get to. We're going to go ahead and get to this post-game reaction from JJ Redick, because like I said, we don't really need to react to the game today. The game happened. We saw it. I think it was very obvious where the Lakers went wrong, just like it was kind of obvious in the game before that. But yeah, games 4 and 5 were a complete nightmare for the Lakers. you could point the finger around at a lot of different people, a lot of different causes, but I mean, in this game 5, if you have to put the blame on anybody, I think you would have to look to that coaching staff of the Lakers, JJ Redick and the coaching staff. I mean, a horrendous game plan to be playing at home and to overcomplicate it and to start just panicking and going zone against this Minnesota team. Kind of silly. We got Anthony in the super chat. He says, Reeves, 16 points per game on 41% from the field, 31% from the three for the best third option in the league. I don't think he's the best third option in the league. He's one of them. Also got to give Julius Randle credit. He was the key for the Wolves. Yes, he was. I think Jaden McDaniel might have been more important, especially in that game 1 and game 4. But Randle was really good as well. Randle was really good. But I think if I had to select a player for the T-Wolves that was the difference maker, I would definitely have to say it was McDaniels. His defense and his ability to score in game 1 and game 4. Or was it game 3? Yeah, game 4. You got to give him credit for that. He says, B. Jones says, T-Wolves make all the right reads. That's championship. I don't know if they're a championship team. And I don't even know if they made all the right reads. I just think when you go zone, you make the game very easy. And there's a reason why NBA teams don't really rely on zone too much. Unless you got a really active defense and guys can really get after it, I'm probably not really going zone because you're gonna need guys that can go be disruptive. If not, you're just gonna allow teams to sit back and pick you apart. And if you're gonna commit to going zone, you need to put DFS and Vandy at the top of that zone to create havoc. And then on the back line of that zone, you better have some dogs that can rebound as well, because the hardest thing to do out of a zone is rebound. Lakers bailed the Wolves. No, the Lakers didn't. It's not about anybody bailing anybody out. It's just about the Wolves came out and hooped. Lakers didn't bail the Wolves out. When I watched Ant-Man in game 4 knock down them 2 dagger threes at the start of the 4th, that's not the Lakers bailing the Wolves out. That's just Ant-Man saying, I'm next up, and literally taking it from the Lakers. Everything isn't always about somebody choking or giving away the game. They didn't give nothing away. Ant-Man and this Wolf team literally took it. What they did was they found a motivation. Everybody was picking against them. People like Shannon Sharp, Lakers in 5. Nobody believed in them. They found their motivation. They locked in. They got the job done. It's time for us to just give credit where credit is due. They went in and beat the life out of the Lakers. They beat the life out of the Lakers. They did not let them recover after game 1. They didn't give them any sign of hope that they could win the series. And they left the Laker coaching staff scrambling for answers, making desperate moves that I don't believe they needed to make. I said sad, Lamont. I guess whatever you meant. My bad if I misinterpreted what you said. How many times did I say no center, no dice? Yeah. But Adam. Okay. So let me ask you this, Adam. This is all the people that complain about the roster construction. Once you realize that the Lakers did not have the resources to go get a capable center, did you just turn your TV off and stop watching and say, look, I got it all figured out. The Lakers are going to lose this. I got it all figured out. They don't have a center. I'm not even going to watch. Why watch this when I know the result? Did you go bet a ton of money on sports books because you knew the answer? I don't believe you did. Because we've seen a ton of teams with centers not do anything. Minnesota's had Rudy Gobert for the last 3, 4, 5 years, however many years he's been there. And ain't nobody believed in no Minnesota. And Rudy Gobert is a great defensive center. Joel Embiid has been great MVP level before the injuries with the Sixers. Wasn't nobody running around saying the Sixers was going to win a championship. We got a ton of great centers. Jared Jackson, Defensive Player of the Year. Didn't nobody believe in Memphis. All the great centers in the league, y'all don't believe in them. Y'all don't say they're the reason why this team is going to win it all. It's just about team construction, locking in, roles, coaching. There's so much. It's more than just the center. And every team has holes. There's no perfect team. It's about who can play to their strengths, which mitigates your weaknesses. Not every team is going to have an elite center. Just like last year, Dallas, they did not have an elite center. They had a rookie in Derek Lively. They had a Daniel Gafford who had been passed around the league. And they had Derek Jones Jr. who had been passed around the league. They didn't sit there and cry and complain that we need to go trade for a center. They just made do with what they had. The coaching staff trusted those guys, and they made those guys look a lot better than what they actually were. It's about playing to your strengths to mitigate your weaknesses. Play to your strengths to mitigate your weaknesses. All you have to do in basketball. And the Lakers did try, and I agree, they did try to make a move for a center, but it was stupid for the Lakers to pull that plug on that trade. I mean, especially if you go into the postseason and you don't even use Dalton Knecht. You pull the plug on the trade, and you get Dalton Knecht back, and then you don't even proceed to use him. Tackable Pod said, how about giving the Wolves credit, Willie? I agree. Somebody just give the T-Wolves credit. They went, hit the Lakers in the mouth, and snatched the whole series from them. When are we just going to give them credit? That's one thing I can easily say. The Wolves walked in to smack the Lakers in the mouth, took the series from them. Anthony Edwards is trying to build that resume of I'm just not another young player. And as much as we want to blame PGH Big Dog, JJ Redick's bad coaching decisions, who forced JJ Redick into actually making those bad decisions? Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. They forced them into changing their game plan. They forced them into, oh, yeah, we can't play Jackson Hayes. They forced them into doing these things. They forced them to panic and make these things. That's why you got to start by giving credit to Minnesota. They smacked them in the mouth. What happens if there's a lot of y'all in the chat been smacked in the mouth? And a lot of y'all panic. Y'all don't know what the hell to do. If a dude that's 6'9", 280 pounds, if he walks up to you, smacks you in the mouth, what you gonna do? A lot of y'all gonna do what the Lakers did. Y'all gonna panic. Y'all gonna start doing the hood girl swirl with your arms and all that stuff. Lakers panicked. They got smacked in the mouth and panicked. It is what it is. I mean, like, it's not a big deal. And it happens in basketball. Go back to the drawing board, get better. What I've done? Well, the first thing I would have done is I would have never went to no silly-ass zone. That's what I've never done. First thing I would have done is, first you have to, the one thing you have to do as a coach, you have to see what energizes, what maximizes your best players. The reality is that no matter how bad you think Jackson Hayes is, the reality is that when Luka has a lob threat on the court, he's a much better version of Luka. He showed that in the first couple of minutes of Game 4. When Luka has a lob threat on the court, not only does he make that lob threat better, but he's a much better version of himself. So one, you have to, okay, how do we optimize our stars? One, I would have put LeBron back on point. If y'all want to stick McDaniels all on Luka, one, I'm not going to have Luka, who we know is out of shape, bringing the ball up, trying to fight McDaniels just to get the ball up. Two, I'm going to center my offense. Too many times, especially in games 3 and games 4, what were they doing with Luka? They were sending Luka to the corners, getting trapped at the half-court corners. I'm just going to put LeBron on point. You're not taking the ball from him. You're not going to bully him to the corners. Just put LeBron on point and then funnel your offense to Luka after you get across the half. There were a couple, but these are not scheme or system changes. These are just very minor changes that can kind of thwart what they're doing. It's not like, and then I would have found guards who can get the ball up the court without turning it over, not named Reeves or Luka. Number 2. That's all. Those are the 2 number 1 things I would do. So that would have elevated Gabe Vincent's role, and that would have elevated LeBron's role at the point. Right? Because they were too physical. You need physical guards. You need to fight physicality with physical guards. You have the physical guard. Gabe Vincent is a physical guard. He's a low turnover guard. LeBron, physical guard. He's low turnover. These 2 guys can get the ball up the court without tripping, falling, doing all this stuff. Luka sometimes literally looked like McDaniels was hitting him with a 2x4 sometimes. Reeves will come off a pick and roll, and a guy will bump him. It looks like somebody is smacking him with a 2x4. He get to doing all this, and bro, nothing's wrong, man. All he did was touch you. We don't see Gabe Vincent and LeBron doing all that. Just get to where you got to go. Quit all the flailing, flopping, run the offense. One buddy says, another apologist, FYF in effect. I don't know what that means, man. I don't know. What are y'all like? I'm just talking about the game. Mike Conley had Reeves locked up. I wouldn't say Mike Conley had anybody locked up, but he did play solid defense. So LeBron don't flop? No, LeBron does not flop. It's one of the reasons why we know LeBron doesn't flop. He scores the majority of his points at the rim. You don't score the majority of your career points at the rim if you just flop. Right? This year, LeBron James only went to the free throw line 4 times per game. What's the point of flopping if you're only going to the free throw line 4 times per game? Just get to the rim, do what you got to do, and score. What y'all do is y'all take moments. Y'all take moments when LeBron's trying to sell a calling, and you try to sell to us, this is who LeBron James is as a career. You don't care about the fact that Jordan averaged over 10 free throws a game for most of his career. You don't care that a lot of y'all favorite players, all they did was flop and flail. Yeah, I don't talk about Kobe as a flopper, flailler, doing all that every time. Y'all don't. When are y'all gonna talk about that? Every time Kobe gets stripped, flopping, felling, he acting like somebody yanked his whole arm off. Bro, I don't think y'all know, bro. Selling a car, you cannot tell me he stayed flopping, he only shooting 4 free throws a game. What is this? Like, this don't make sense. I get why y'all try to say that Gilgeous-Alexander flops and Jalen Brunson flop. These 2 guys are shooting over 10 free throws a game. Brown only shooting 4 free throws a game. If he flopping, what is it all for then? What's he trying to sell? But then y'all get mad when he bullies people to the rim and scores and say, he just plays bully ball. And then when people say he's one of the greatest scorers of all time, all y'all say is, he just scores at the rim. Bro, I don't get where y'all logic is. Y'all logic is just dumb. Let me share my screen. Let's hear what JJ Redick had to say. We'll drop the link after this. And we'll get everybody's thoughts on the game. Hold on, let me go ahead and share my screen, get this up here.
Post game.
JJ, just for this game specifically, that fourth quarter did seem to kind of go as previous ones had. How did you see that happen, and what were you trying to get going offensively in the fourth?
We executed great in the fourth quarter. Missed shots at the rim, missed a bunch of threes, shot 12 for 52 for the series in the fourth quarter from three. On top of that, you lose 2 games in Minnesota, minus 12 in scoring opportunities, minus 13, and then you lose by 20 tonight. Just too many turnovers, too many offensive rebounds, and I think given the struggles scoring the ball, particularly early in the series, there's a trade-off. There's always a trade-off. You could say, play a center. We couldn't score, so there's a trade-off to everything with this. But we obviously put ourselves in a position to.
I disagree. I believe they could score with a center in the game. The offense, to me, looked damn good with Jackson Hayes. When Jackson Hayes caught that lob to start Game 4, I thought the offense looked damn good. I mean, I don't get this. They can't score without a center. Luka thrives with lob threat centers. I don't get that. What this honestly is, y'all. And look, I have very limited coaching experience, right? 6-7 years. But what this sounds like to me, y'all, you have some type of gripe with Jackson Hayes or some type of beef. He got into your doghouse, and you just don't want to say he's in the goddamn doghouse and there's nothing he can do to get out the doghouse. Because in all reality, ever since Luka's arrived, Jackson Hayes has looked like a completely different player. And to pretend and say you cannot score with Jackson Hayes in the game, when we literally watched Jackson Hayes drop 15 in the first half of a game in the regular season, primarily because of Luka facilitating and Luka LeBron facilitating to him, I just don't get it. One buddy says Bron in the game 4 in the fourth, 0 points. Game 5, 5 points. And buddy, what does that mean? Because the last time I checked, once Luka got traded to this team, Luka was the driving force of this team. Luka's the number one option, buddy. Unfortunately for you, one buddy, there is a new number one option on this team. That's Luka Doncic. Go talk about him. AD ain't here no more. There's a new number one option in the fourth quarter that has the ball the majority of the time, making all the decisions. Go blame him. If y'all all about blaming the top guy, go blame the top guy. Bron is not that top guy no more now that Luka's here. Or maybe y'all just got these, like, it's just like Goat James Kingdom says. Y'all have these homoerotic affinities towards LeBron James.
Be in the game 3 times in the fourth quarter and just came up short every time. But again, the offensive part of it tonight in particular was we missed wide open threes. We missed a couple shots at the rim. We got good looks.
No, go ahead, Mike. If you have a follow-up.
No, go ahead.
JJ, kind of going into the series, I think one of the thoughts was that because you guys had LeBron and Luka in close games, particularly on the stretch, like these are 2 of the best closers of all time. Did you see signs that their chemistry maybe in the fire wasn't where it needed to be in terms of, kind of one guy going, one guy not going? Were they together enough? Or was it kind of what you'd expect considering this team changed in mid-February or early February, sorry?
Yeah, I mean, we played 13 games.
Yeah, y'all, look at this. Look at this. Look at Primetime Podcast, y'all. Primetime Podcast says, don't nobody care about what Throat James Kingdom thinks. Now, I've told y'all about comments like this, y'all. When you make a comment like this, there's a visualization process in the brain where you also have to visualize this as well before you even say it. I want y'all to understand it. And because we're all human beings and because we all know what I'm saying is true, we all know what I'm saying is true. I want y'all to really think about what Primetime Podcast had going through his brain. What did he visualize in his mind seconds before he actually typed this, because this is a thought that he conjured up in his mind. He visualized it. He visualized a one man and another man, and then he proceeded to type this thought. All y'all do when y'all do this is y'all really just give a lot of credence to when Goat James Kingdom says that y'all are very homoerotic. Y'all just literally be making him right. And then y'all come into the chat and type it like it sounds snazzy. It just makes me question, why are you thinking things like this, man? Come on, man. One buddy says that's your opinion. No, one buddy. That is a fact. Okay, so one buddy. I just want you to think to yourself, right? At the end of the day, we all know what I'm saying is fact because we're all human beings. Because we've all thought stuff in our minds and we picture it in our head before we type this stuff. Especially if it's something of that type of, to that degree. I mean, y'all can pretend as much as you want, but we all know the truth. But Willie, see, the problem with this, Willie, is I know you don't agree, Willie, because for the kids that were on that extremely short bus, the wheels ain't churning the way they're supposed to churn up in there. So Willie, you get a pass on that because the wheels ain't churning right, man. Let's finish this out.
Games with our playoff rotation in the regular season. Bron and Luka obviously played more than that together, but these things take time. Luka just went through it in Dallas with Kyrie, and doesn't happen overnight. We obviously wished that I wouldn't call it chemistry because they have chemistry, but that part of it we could figure out better, and we were, I guess, in a better place and more comfortable with that in the fourth quarters of playoff games. But that partnership and that relationship is more than solid.
What was your message to the team after the game tonight?
I think there's always a mix of disappointment and gratitude, but certainly disappointed and not something that I ever envisioned with this team. Having to go in and talk to them, after losing the first round, but give Minnesota a lot of credit. They're a really good basketball team, and I think our guys played hard enough and did all the right things. We tried to make it work with what we had and came up a little short.
JJ, how's Luka's back doing, and what did you see from him in terms of trying to just gut it out in the second half?
I assume it's tight. I don't know. I know he could play. Obviously, he had some good stretches there in the second half, scoring the basketball.
You went with Kleber tonight. I think kind of didn't show your cards pregame about that. What was the thinking there?
I would have appreciated this more if I think sometimes you just got to say, I screwed that one up, man. I screwed it up. And I think with JJ, I think he's going to look back on this. I think it's going to be hard for him to watch the film on this series because I think he did a lot of things. I think he made a lot of changes that were unnecessary. I had talked. I forgot who I was talking to. It could have been A. Johnny, or it could have been one of my other buddies. But what I was saying was I think they were asking me, what changes would you make? And the one thing I kept saying after game one, I kept saying, you don't need to make any changes. You just don't need to make a lot of changes. and it's not even major, the only thing I would do more is turn up the volume on Jackson Hayes' minutes, right? Let him make mistakes. But the energy and effort that he's given you, the way he unlocks Luka on the offensive end is far more valuable for this team than the few mistakes that he might make. With this quick trigger yanking him out the game, as soon as he breathes on somebody the wrong way, I think it just really hurt this team. Especially when guys on the bench can clearly see that you have this long leash of mistakes for players like Austin Reeves, which I don't even like killing Austin Reeves for the mistakes that Austin Reeves makes. But Austin Reeves has this crazy long leash where he's allowed to make mistake after mistake after mistake, and he stays in the game. Like, if you're going to be quick with yanking guys out the game, be quick with yanking them out, all of them. Yank Reeves out when he, yank him out early before he fouls McDaniels and gives him a three-point play. Like, go ahead and do this early. But it seems like he's just playing politics with selected people. Vanderbilt makes a mistake, yank out the game. Hayes makes yank out the game. These guys are not given an opportunity just to play. All right. And that's what they were, that's when we look to the reason why the bench for the Lakers only averaged 7.4 points per game. I want y'all to think about this. The Lakers bench for this series averaged 7.4 points per game. The reason why your bench loses confidence is typically because they have a coach that don't believe in them. Now everything that they do, they're on edge. They don't want to take shots. They don't want to make mistakes. When Nickeil Alexander-Walker came into the game for Minnesota and airballed 2 threes in a row, they went back to him on the third play. He knocks down a big corner three yesterday. One buddy says, FYF, did you have Lakers? Yes, everybody in the world essentially had the Lakers winning. Yeah, I had the Lakers winning. But like I said, Minnesota slapped them in the mouth and took the series from them. While we didn't play Goodwin, I said that as well, Breadwinner, because even when Goodwin was in, I saw Goodwin do one thing defensively, y'all, and I was like, Goodwin is probably one of the smartest players on this team. If y'all think back to yesterday's game, when Julius Randle was like on a torture, he kept spinning left on the baselines, bodying Rui, and then getting the layup. And then he did it to Vandy. The only person he couldn't do that to was Goodwin. As soon as he tried to spin left on Goodwin on the baseline, Goodwin cut it off, like, because he's studying film. He cut it off, met him chest to chest, forced him back the other way. Because according to the scouting report, when you cut that left hand off and you force him back the other way, he's a horrible passer. Goodwin was the only one to consistently do that to Julius Randle and really make it hard for him to score. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, he needs to be playing more. These small things like that is how you identify the guys that are locked in, that are ready to hoop. We'll see.
And what do you think he gave you after not playing like 3 months?
Yeah, I mean, just played 3 minutes in the first half and whatever, 3 minutes in the second half. We knew it was going to be spot minutes. He obviously had a very tight minute restriction, but just positional size. He's also just an incredibly intelligent player. I thought it's similar to Doe, where the things that he does at a high level don't always show up in the box score. But obviously would have loved if you'd made that corner three, but wasn't the only one to miss corner threes in the fourth quarter.
Missed the first.
Hollywood Herm, who still buy Gucci today? Don't nobody wear no Gucci no more, man. You better take that shit back, man. Gucci basically like Michael Kors now. You better take that purse back before she slapped the shit out of you, just like Minnesota slapped the shit out of the Los Angeles Lakers, Herm. You better go get some Chanel or something. And don't nobody run around rocking Gucci no more. This ain't the 2000s, the early 2000s, man. I'm just telling you, Herm, man. I'm just saying, if you got a big win, you need to take that shit back immediately. Don't nobody wear Gucci like that no more. That shit is played out. Come on, Herm, man. Stop it, man. Now, if you want to make predictions, y'all, let's take bets on that prediction. How she gonna react when Herm give her that played out Gucci purse? We can make bets on that. You better take that back, man, Herm, and get something else, man.
Maybe one or two questions, so sorry if this were asked, but Rudy, he was getting the offense on offensive glass throughout the series, but tonight it seemed like he was able to convert more of his shots near the rim. What were you seeing that I guess led to that, his more success?
He's really big. I mean, he's really big. It's one thing if he's the only one down there, and it's another thing if there's multiple crashers. And they all have the license to crash. McDaniels, DiVincenzo in particular, Randall as well. But McDaniels and DiVincenzo are crashing nearly every shot. So you have to account for them. Plus, Gobert's just bigger than everyone.
Hey, JJ, obviously emotions are raw right now, but third seed finish obviously didn't end the way you wanted it to. But on a personal level, how would you evaluate?
Hey, y'all, look at Herm, man. Herm is mad now, man. Y'all see Herm mad in the chat? He said, now Herm saying we can't afford Gucci, man. Let me show you something, Herm. Hold on one second. Let me go to the big screen real quick. Look, Herm. I told you, Herm. And again, this is actually a nice-ass piece right here. This is one of the nicer pieces. I think it's like a $900 Gucci watch, Herm. But it's just the reality of Herm. It's just that times change, man. And when times change, man, it's things that were extremely luxurious are no longer extremely luxurious, man. Now, Herm, why don't you show us that Gucci bag? Now, Herm, show us the Gucci bag. I'm showing you the Gucci watch. Pristine condition. I still got the box and I still got the papers. Herb, I'm just trying to save you, Herb. You can still take it back, man. Let's get back to this. Let's get back to this.
Your first season as head coach of this team.
I'll use my own thoughts to evaluate myself, and I'll use what my players say and what my coaching staff says to evaluate. But I know I can be better, and I know I will get better. I don't necessarily take any satisfaction from how the year went. That's not to say I'm not proud of what the group was able to do and how we were able to figure things out on the fly and put ourselves in a position to have home court in the first round. But there's always ways to get better, and I can get a lot better.
And there we have it right there, man. Let me go ahead and drop the link, man. Let y'all come pull up, talk about this, man. I know that a lot of the haters, you got a lot to get off y'all system. Obviously, the Lakers are now out. So you guys have about 24 more hours of LeBron James hate before you guys are going to have to start scrounging through the depths of the internet and through Google to try to find LeBron James topics to keep talking about. So I think the one thing I want everybody to do when y'all come up here first is I want y'all to predict what is the first scrounged up Google topic about LeBron James. Do you think Dreamers Pro and Carcino for Life and some of the LeBron James haters are going to come up with within the next 44 hours now that the Lakers are out of the playoffs. And I want to see who can predict that one. What is the most scrounged up topic that what's going to be up next? Or will they actually talk basketball about the guys that are left in the playoffs? Link is in the chat, man. Y'all come up here and cook, man. Let's get up. Like I said, we're not gonna try to, kill y'all for too long, but we will be cooking today. Salute to Renegade in the chat as well. Tyson says LeBron needs to retire. Tyson, ask y'all something. LeBron is the only superstar that I've heard people run around say they need to retire. You typically start to say that when you start to look like Paul Pierce did at the end of his career. We typically start to say that when we clearly see, like, for example, if somebody said that about Mike Conley, right, which even Mike Conley still has something left in the tank, and I wouldn't even say that about Chris Paul. Chris Paul has something left in the tank. But the fact that LeBron James is still playing at worst, and we're saying at worst, top 15 level. You can LeBron James, and we'll just widen it out to the top 20. Out of the 450 players in the NBA, LeBron James is still playing like a top 20 player in the league. But you guys are begging for a top 20 player in the league to retire. Well, why? What other top 20 players in this league are y'all begging to retire? And I'm only saying top 20, Olo and Eminem. I'm only saying top 20 because we know some of the haters are just going to drop them down a few extra spots because they don't like him. But none of them can have a real case as to why LeBron isn't top 20. Top 20 is out of 450 NBA players. And people are literally saying, oh, he needs to retire. When did the end of your career as a superstar, when did the end of your career start ruining your legacy? Did the end of Kobe's career ruin his legacy? Did the end of Kareem's career ruin his legacy? Did the end of Jordan's career with the Wizards ruin his legacy? Why all of a sudden with LeBron, he needs to retire to protect his legacy? Because all this longevity, did the end of Vince Carter's career ruin his legacy? Why is it with LeBron, a guy, and out of all these guys who completely fell off at the end of their careers, LeBron is still playing like a top 20 player. Vince was not doing that. Paul Pierce was not doing that. Kevin Garnett was not doing that. Chris Paul's not doing that. Mike Conley's not doing that. All the players that are playing this extended amount of time, Kobe wasn't doing it. But LeBron, who's playing like a top 20 player, he just needs to retire. Like, this retire stuff is silly, man. We got Herm. We got Olo. Herm asked me to put him on the big screen, so I'm assuming he has some type of diatribe he's going to get on. Herm, did you still want me to put you on the big screen, man?
Man, you can't talk my shit right quick, man. I gonna talk it right quick, man.
Let's get you up here. Let's get you on the big screen.
Let's get it, man. Salute to everybody. First of all, y'all hit that like button. Y'all also hit that cash out for the month, man. Hey, you don't need to turn on that music though, but
talk to the people. Talk to the people, Herm.
Hey, but this ain't about LeBron though. That's why I want you to tell me. This ain't about LeBron.
All right, okay. He said it's not about LeBron, yeah. All right, go ahead.
LeBron. See, niggas expect me to hate on Bron, but this is to the people that put all these unrealistic expectations on LeBron. Hey, Jonah in the month, been fooling all y'all, been filling y'all heads up, been boosting y'all confidence up about how good this team was. I was sitting up there telling them, hey, take one game at a time, y'all. Y'all know damn well that these teams don't have a lot of film on these guys. They really have a game plan for these guys. Just chill out. Because once they get enough film, once they understand what the Lakers like to do, because they can't change too much because they just came together. So it's not like they're going to implement a lot of new sets and shit. And I said, once they make them adjustments in the playoffs, teams are going to exploit every damn weakness that the Lakers had, and Minnesota did that. They exploited any weakness that they was looking at. They exploited it for its perimeter defense. Nobody could stop Minnesota from penetrating to the rim. They got to the rim at will. The corner three was open the whole goddamn series. Then they exposed the interior, but Rudy Gobert dominated yesterday's game with basically 30 and 20. They went out losing like that to Minnesota. So, end of the day, when I was telling these bums what was going on, they didn't want to listen. It's like Luka and LeBron, nobody can stop that. It's not about that duo. It's about the personnel of that roster, period. And the Lakers, end of the day, don't have a great roster. They don't have a great team. They really not as great as people thought they were. They're not as deep as people thought they was. They don't have the size. They didn't have anything. And for people to sit up there and really believe that this was a great defensive team, they don't know a damn thing about basketball, bro. Because honestly, they not. They can't stop people from penetrating the rim. They can't rebound, because that's part of defense. If your ass can't rebound, you go give a team second chances. Even if you do force them into a bad shot, the niggas go get a second chance, rebound, go back up with it, or get the corner three, which Minnesota was getting. So honestly, man, I ain't gonna go too hard, because those my boys.
No, my next question is, well, one, when did Johnny say that LeBron was at the level, still at the level where he can carry the Lakers to a championship?
It's not about LeBron James. See, that's what you're trying to make it as. I'm not making it as.
No, but you just said
Johnny was saying that the Lakers was a better defensive team with that AD. No, they not.
That's completely different from what I asked you, Herm.
No, yeah, but I ain't mentioned anything about.
No, but hold on, Herm. Hold on.
I'm not taking it to LeBron.
If Johnny says, no, I got you, Herm. If Johnny says he thinks, which is subjective, that the Lakers are.
He didn't say he think. He
I know. Hold on, Herm. I'm not saying he didn't say that. I'm saying, when did Johnny say that this team and LeBron was still at the level? Or when did he try to lead anyone to believe that LeBron? He
did, because him and B. Lee was into a show at the show about it, and they still felt like Luka and LeBron.
When did he say this?
Man, on their show,
him and B. Lee don't even agree on half the stuff. Like B. Lee didn't agree with the AD take. Like his own partner, which is one of the things why that makes that show so unique, is B. Lee didn't agree with the AD Davis stuff.
He really didn't agree, because I was on the stream, Lamont. B. Lee didn't agree with the AD take at all.
I know. I mean, his own panel pushed against a lot of the things that he said. So I just want to know, when was he out here parading around that LeBron was still
party on Crenshaw? Yeah, he was parading around that. The party on Crenshaw, right? Yeah, he was parading around with that, right? So yeah, he was parading around like these niggas gonna really have a party on Crenshaw. Like these niggas really was gonna be a threat. Like these niggas were gonna have a deep playoff run. Y'all was selling the wolf tickets.
What you mean, yeah? Why you keep saying?
And they got exposed, and I said they was gonna lose in the first round. I was telling everybody that. I was saying that.
Nobody ever heard you say that.
Yes, that's shit, because y'all kept kicking me off and putting me backstage for one.
Hold on, but Herm.
That's for one. I kept getting
a parade. Hold on. Man, he didn't tell you. Hold on one second. Herm, he didn't tell you.
Apologize to these LeBron fans, because y'all.
Herm, hold on one second. Herm. He didn't tell you what team was going to be partying on Crenshaw. I mean, it very well could be the Los Angeles Clippers.
You the reason why these LeBron haters got a lot of shit to say, because y'all put the false expectations on them niggas.
What expectations y'all put on the Lakers? I rarely even talked about the Lakers.
Yes, y'all did. Yes, y'all did.
Oh my God.
You was co-signing with Gill and them.
What did I co-sign with Gill?
Hey, y'all was co-signing with the same bullshit. Like the Lakers were gonna do something, gonna make a deep playoff run. And I was the only nigga saying, take one game at a time. These niggas not as good as y'all think they are, and they going to get exposed, because when teams get that film, they go.
All right, Herm, we gotta hold on, Herm. Let me go to. I gotta go to Earl.
Hey, Wiley, come up here, man.
Herm, but hold on. You know what, Herm?
Wiley, come up here, man.
I also heard you say. Also heard you say these same things in 2020, Herm.
In 2020? Now when I said, well, pull up the tape then. I ain't say that.
No, so Herm, what I'm saying is,
pull up the tape.
I'm saying you have a on repeat.
What is that about?
So you got a soliloquy for LeBron every year. You always say
pull up the tape, bum.
I will.
If I said that in 2020, pull up the tape. Because
All right,
I ain't
hold
say
on,
that
Herm.
in 2020. Pull up the tape.
Hold on 1 second, Herm.
Yeah, pull up the tape.
I got you, Herm. I'm saying every year you on auto repeat with
Nope.
the same take.
No, I'm not, because I cooked the Clippers last year. I wasn't even focused on the Lakers.
Yes, you was.
No, I was focused on the Clippers. You remember that. So don't sit up there and act like I was focused on the Lakers, because I knew the Lakers wasn't relevant. I knew they wasn't going to do shit. So I wasn't focused on the Lakers. My focus was on the Clippers, remember? When I single-handedly destroyed Clipper Nation with that dumbass outlook and takes that they had, because they had a so-called best record in December and January, and they thought that Kawhi and them was going to carry them to the championship. I cooked their delusional asses.
Do I
That
need
was
to
my
play
focus. And y'all
Herm?
pulled.
Herm, do I need to play the clip? Are you saying that you wanted to join the Nazis and you was willing to join the Nazis to make sure that the Denver Nuggets and Nikola Jokic beat LeBron James? Do I need to play that clip? Talk to us, Herm.
That wasn't no 2020 clip.
That was last year.
2020 clip. Hey,
that was
guess what?
last year.
I own the bum ass Lakers. I own the bum ass Clippers. And in the day, y'all the worst goddamn fan bases in basketball. Cause neither both of y'all fan bases are delusional.
Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna play the clip, man.
LeBron and Kawhi fans delusional, and y'all don't know shit about basketball.
I'm gonna play the clip like Herm.
Fucking work.
Now,
hey,
y'all,
Johnny, you want the same? You want the same
Hold
level?
on, Herm. You gotta hold on. Herm. Now, y'all remember, y'all. Herm just said you don't talk about
Y'all
LeBron like that last year. Hold on, Herm.
Nah,
So,
you said
like,
2020, nigga. You can't put that shit on me. You said 2020. I said pull up the film for 2020.
I said,
nigga,
Herm,
you ain't gonna have no film.
Herm, hold on 1 second, Herm. You gotta let other people talk.
You a capping ass nigga, and you know it. You a capping ass bum.
Herm, hold on, man. You gotta hold on.
You a bum, and you
hold on, Herm.
Hey, you just like to pull up pod trash. Y'all easy
I know.
work.
I take that. But Herm, are you telling me last year you weren't saying the same thing, just with a different team? Yeah, I'm gonna play this clip, y'all. Let me find it real quick. When Herm when he crashed out, and he said he was gonna join the KKK and join the Nazis because he was willing to just flip his black card, turn his black card in just to make sure that Nikola Jokic beat LeBron James last year. I mean, he went rogue on the black community, man. He went completely rogue on the black community just to make sure that LeBron James loses, man. Let me get this clip right here. I had it in my thing right here. Somehow it's not in there no more. I'm about to pull it up though. While I pull it up, let me go ahead and go. Let me go ahead and go to Tyson, man. Tyson had a lot to say in the chat. Tyson, what you got on this,
man? We knew. Well, first of all, I wasn't talking about LeBron should retire. I was saying because you said the headlines that all the haters is gonna pull out. So yeah, I don't think LeBron should retire. He's still playing good basketball. But the series to me just comes down to Lakers not be able to stay in front of Ant-Man. They couldn't guard Randall. Too strong, too big, too aggressive. And the lack of Luka being able to cook these one-on-one. I thought Luka was a top 3 offensive player, man. He letting Nas Reed stay in front of him. He letting Randall stay in front of him on switches. Obviously, McDaniels has the capability to do that. We all knew that. But on these switches, man, Rudy Gobert, he used to cook those matchups. What happened to Luka? What happened?
I mean, how much did he average for the series?
It's not about the averages, man. It's about in crunch time, these dudes switching on him and staying in front of him, and Luka not being able to play make because he attracted multiple defenders. These dudes will stay in front of him one-on-one. We don't expect that from Luka. It's not about what he averages because he made tough shots. I give him that. He made some incredible shots. But that's not sustainable offense.
Yeah, but Luka's never been a blow-by. Like,
he was drawn and kicked. Come on, man. His playmaking was predicated on him getting to the teeth of the defense, drawing multiple defenders and kicking it. If you just like the Celtics did, we all know they had the personnel to do that. You know what I'm saying? We
already said that. Like I think it was no secret. And I said this early on. I said, number one thing Luka needs to do is he needs to get in shape.
100%.
I said I think his fitness kicked him in his ass a little bit this year. And I said if you had to say Nico Harrison was right about anything, he was right about the fact that Luka was not in shape. So I think a lot of Luka's woes were primarily even in the games where he dropped 37 and 38 points. I mean, because he obviously scoring wise, he was still lethal. But I think where we saw him falter, like you said, in the fourth and even on the defensive end, he had nothing to give. He had no energy to give in the fourth, or he had no energy to give on the defensive end because he's out of shape. And then JJ Redick even said it in the post game. He said, "We are not in championship shape." And I think when he said that, I think he was alluding to Luka. We're not in championship shape because you can't be talking about LeBron. LeBron was in championship shape, right? You can't be talking about DFS. DFS was ready to go, right?
Lando ready to go, right?
I think, I agree. So at the end of the day, I think what you're talking about is the only thing that could beat Luka in his prime right now is his own fitness. And I think, like I say, it's not rocket. The Minnesota did not do anything spectacular other than take advantage of the fact that motherfucker wasn't in shape.
I think it's more than that. I think we've seen Luka in previous years, even last year when he played Minnesota, do a lot better in getting his teammates involved and drawn and getting the ball to open people. I just think Luka didn't have that presence. The tough shot making is one thing,
but we addressed that too. What unlocks Luka as a playmaker? A lob threat. The best lob threat on the Lakers. The best lob threat on the Lakers is Jackson Hayes. When Jackson Hayes played the first 4 minutes of Game 4, that was the Dallas looking Luka. Like when he threw that lob up, you unlock the full bag of Luka when you give him a lob threat. But by JJ Redick taking that away, now what you do is you make Luka easier to defend because now you don't have to worry about a lob threat. You saw what it looked like when DFS went to go for a lob. They threw it off the side of the backboard, missed it, and all types of crazy shit. So it's just like now, like Rudy, now you're just really turning Rudy into an elite roamer on Luka. And they don't have to worry about this significant lob threat behind them. And I think that was just one of the elements where I feel like JJ went wrong, where as much as you don't like Jackson Hayes, you got to play him this series. Remember how Frank Vogel was doing in 2020, where in some series he would play Dwight and JaVale McGee, but in other series he wouldn't?
For sure.
I think you would have to go with that route. Sometimes, okay, but this series was for Jackson Hayes. Maybe against the Warriors is not for Jackson Hayes. But
right.
This series was Jackson. It was so funny because I texted Johnny during the game, and some of y'all might have heard it as well on the hot mics. It was literally a dude on the front row yelling at the Lakers bench the whole time, "Put Jackson Hayes in. Put Jackson Hayes in." And he said it, Lakers go down 5. He kept yelling it, Lakers go down 10. This motherfucker was yelling it the whole goddamn game. And they did not put him in, man. So, I mean, I thought this, I mean,
I don't think I really don't think, especially the defensive scheme. I don't think that's necessarily on JJ. I think he was trying something only because they couldn't stay in front of nobody. You know, when they just mismatch hunting and they cooking Reeves on a continuous basis, when they cooking Luka on a continuous basis, when it was really nobody. And like they said, LeBron being the best defender is diabolical, right? At this stage in his career. So anytime Ant-Man was isolated at the top of the key, you got to send doubles, and that just allows all these dudes to get off.
Cannot send double. That's a flaw. That's the problem. The beauty of the reason why you put Ant-Man at the top of the key is because you cannot trap the top of the key. It's literally the hardest place.
But they still was doing it.
I know, and that's what I'm saying.
That's why they was getting all them open shots too.
I'm saying they had to though, because Ant-Man is tearing up that one-on-one.
You can't. It don't matter. But it
don't matter.
You not trap on a basketball court is the top of the key. You do not trap there because it opens. Because the one thing the Lakers can withstand. Okay, Ant-Man, get your 40. But what was killing the Lakers was Nas Reed going off, McDaniels going off, Julius Randle going off, and all the others going off. You can withstand Ant-Man getting his buckets. You cannot withstand Ant-Man getting his buckets and everybody else around him getting theirs too.
But he's not. That's the thing. He's not to me.
Ant-Man.
No, well, he's not.
You're not stopping him.
But that's where I disagree. He's not getting it like Luka. He getting into the paint. He getting people in foul trouble. He drawing and kicking. Luka is making tough contested shots. That's the difference. He blowing by people. You can't just let him go. You got to collapse the defense when somebody get a blow by. Come on,
pick your poison with Anthony. Like first of all, just
right. But we're not gonna let him have rim runs, Lamont.
I'm saying Anthony Edwards is good enough at this stage in his career. He's good enough to go get you 25 to 30 just off sheer skill. What you cannot allow Anthony Edwards to do is you cannot send what I call reckless double teams so that not only is he getting his 30, he's also getting his assist. and he's getting guys like Naz Reid, Jalen McDaniel dropping 30 in like 2 games is crazy, and it's just like you gotta pick your poison. I'm not letting all these other dudes get off and Ant-Man get off. Like if you
what would you suggest how to defend that when they're switching and getting Luke on them? How would you defend that?
You just live with the one-on-one.
No, hell no.
Because
they blow bys.
Because he's not going to score 100 points. If you're telling me that,
so you let him get dunks at the rim and layups.
What I'm saying is this: if you give Ant-Man all one-on-ones for the entire game from the top of the key, are you literally telling me that Ant-Man's going to drop 75 points to win a playoff game by itself?
I don't know what he's going to do, but at the same time, what we're not going to do is just let him go to the basket continuously.
No. What I'm saying is, listen to what I said. Do not overhelp, because what was happening was Ant-Man would drive. Rui or somebody like that will overhelp. He's kicking it out to Naz Reid. He will bomb a 3 in the clutch because of the overhelp. You just quit overhelping. If Ant-Man drives in, because remember on the one play, even when LeBron had defended, I felt like he defended Ant-Man well. Ant-Man, his dribble slipped and he got bailed out because LeBron, I guess, hit him on the
right.
He's prone to those level of mistakes because he's not going to score. He's not going to go 100% driving in, right? There's going to be some times
with Luka on him. It's going to be close.
There's going to be some times where your defense holds it down. We've never seen a game like I just think they overhelped, and you had too many guys making shots that normally don't bomb you like that. And
I agree with all that, but at the end of the day, to me, the Lakers we knew they was going to have a problem defensively. We knew they was going to get off, but you see those numbers that the Timberwolves put up weren't, astronomical 130s, 120s. We operate mostly in the 110s or even less than that in some games. But the problem to me was the offense. The offense was horrible, bro. In the 4 quarters, they looked passive. They looked like nobody wanted the ball. It was just an ugly series for the Lakers, man. At the end of the day, period.
Hey, Johnny been telling y'all this for the last 3 weeks, and y'all been laughing at him. Hey, Johnny been yelling out for the last 3 weeks. It ain't the offense. Defense it's going to be our offense that's going to be our demise. He the only one been very consistent with that. He said it throughout this whole after every game of this series. He kept saying it ain't the defense, y'all. It's the offense. It ain't the defense. It's the offense. And then all of a sudden, when they lose, y'all come to that realization.
But it's both though. If Luka ain't going to be dynamic on offense, it's tough to watch. If he's not going to be dynamic on offense and create for other players, and while getting his 30 or whatever he getting. You know what I'm saying? If you're not going to be able to create offense for these guys, if Austin Reeves is going to get locked up by Mike Conley, there's really no path to victory, brother.
What do you mean? Get locked up? Well, hold on. Hold on. Say that again.
Austin Reeves, in his match, I saw Mike Conley stand in front of this dude, locking him up. Austin Reeves had 6 turnovers last game. It seemed like every time he put the ball on the floor, it was a missed shot or a turnover. So,
are you saying that Mike Conley created all of that?
Of course not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in those one-on-one matchups with Mike Conley.
I literally only saw 2 one-on-one matchups that Mike Conley won versus Austin Reeves.
Oh, you got to watch again then, brother.
I did watch
the whole series.
It was though. There was one in game 4. There was one playing game 5. Outside of that, Mike Conley was not playing this early. It was guys like Jaden McDaniel. It was the more physical players.
So who was Mike Conley guarding?
Problems, man.
Achilles too.
They was actually targeting Mike Conley. He was not fucking no threat out there, man.
Yeah, Mike Conley was a mismatch out there.
Oh no, I'm not on Austin Reeves. I got to watch again then maybe. I got to watch again then because I didn't see Austin Reeves cooking nobody.
Y'all take the 2 turnovers that he forced, the one in game 4 and the one in game 5, and y'all make it seem like Mike Conley out here playing like young Tony Allen and shit.
Nobody said that. There you go with the bullshit.
Watch the buckets that Reeves was scoring in the series.
You go with the bullshit.
I don't know what other plays y'all talking about.
Reeves play horrible.
I'm talking about him standing in front of him. I didn't say he caused turnover. I'm talking about him staying in front of him and causing him to give up the ball.
Was playing physical with him.
Yes, I'm not. It didn't have to end in a turnover. I'm talking about him not being able to get past them and create or score buckets. That's what I'm talking about.
He don't have to get past him. He can just shoot over him, bump him with the shoulder, and shoot over him.
When that 4th quarter,
that's not what we saw, brother.
He was clanking, bro.
I mean,
he was.
I got a question. bro.
In the 3rd quarter of game 4, when he went up, I feel like in the 3rd quarter of game 4, this is what your 3rd option is for. Your 3rd option isn't there to be great every single game, but he's kind of there in them games where you need an extra boost. When
Oh,
Rui
100%.
and Reeves bailed the Lakers out in that third, got him a big lead going into the fourth. At this point right here going forward, the only thing JJ needs to do is just game manage. Take these motherfuckers out the game, put in your defenders, and you milk this lead to the end. And you maybe bring those guys back at the end when you need, but don't lead these two guys out there gas like a motherfucker after having a good third quarter.
I
And
agree
now
with
they
that.
play elite defense in the fourth. And that's where it's just like he did his job. We all know he's a liability. Take his ass out in the fourth and put your defenders in and milk this goddamn lead. And it's just, they didn't do that. Ant-Man
Hey,
saw.
Lamar, can I say something?
Go ahead, MJ. Go ahead.
Hey, check this out. Look what y'all just said. Like I said, we lost. Hey, y'all noticed the last 12 quarters in Denver, both Denver series and this series, in the fourth quarter, we lose every game. And our goats don't become goats. They become sheeps. And they come sheeps. I was like, where the goat at? Where my goats? The goats is, I can see they tired, bad, dumb coaching, the dumb coach. I'm like, this guy pissed me off. But let's get back to that game 4. 128 left. Your boy hit that 3. We up by 2. Before I go, and you know what I'm about to say, Lamont. Then I go to the next game. I see Golden State.
At the beginning of the fourth.
Wait, look. We up by 2. 113, 111, 128 left. They called timeout Minnesota. Okay, I'm telling my friend, okay, he finna put Vandy in, take Luka and Reeves out, and put the 2 defensive guys in, and then we get a stop. Then you put them back in. I go to the Houston game, Golden State and Houston.
Mm-hmm.
They take their best scorer out and put their defense guys in against Houston and win the game. He playing defense or offense. Man, I don't care. I know y'all want to get that dude, that white guy, a scapegoat, but he's a bum too, man. I can't. For some reason, I just had to say it. The Lakers, we just can't get no good coach, man.
No, you had the best 2 IQs in the league, according to y'all. And for 3 quarters, you sat there and watched what Rudy was getting, and you didn't adjust it. You didn't change it. LeBron didn't tell him to change it. What is going on?
That's what I can't get over, man. Look what he just said, guys.
George and MJ, because I got to let other people go. All y'all doing is basically letting us know that the coaching staff has the power and not LeBron. Because I don't think it was LeBron's idea to go into a zone and not put a center in the middle and not play Jackson Hayes.
So you telling me LeBron can't speak up and say Green to change it?
Hold on, y'all. All I'm saying is when the coaches make a decision, it's the players' jobs to play.
Oh my God! No!
You can't do that on this.
No, you can't do that, Lamont. Come on, Lamont.
Hold on one second, y'all. All I'm saying is this right here. If y'all, we watched. I'm not even talking about this game 5. If we talk about game 4 and some of the problems that they had, right? The number one thing that you cannot fight. I don't care how IQ you are. What was the demise of the Lakers in game 4? We all said it was fatigue. There is nothing, I don't care how smart you are as a basketball player. If you're telling me that you are running 5 guys for 2 quarters of basketball with no breathers, and I'm supposed to be surprised that they gave up there's no level of IQ that can save the lead if you got 5 guys out there that are tired. That was fatigue. That had nothing to do with players or anything. That was fatigue. And when you go to this next game, I thought it was very easy. It was scheme. If you're going to play zone, then you need a center in the game to rebound. Jackson Hayes is your only center. You play him, and you don't play Maxi Kleber, a guy who hasn't played basketball in months. And so,
no, but Lamont, game 4. Only thing I'm saying,
all I'm saying is
the 128, Lamont. What would you have did? 128. We up by 113, 111.
All I'm saying is this: when I talked about the Lakers losing game 4. I started at the beginning of the fourth. They lost that game at the beginning of the fourth quarter, right? Yep. At the beginning of the fourth quarter, when you don't make any subs and Ant-Man knocks down 2 dagger threes to start the fourth quarter, that is the beginning of the end. That should be the number one sign that we are tired.
You're saying everything but not saying it.
No, what I'm saying is this. So all I'm saying is, I mean, I know y'all want. It seems like both y'all have arguments that are super hyper focused on trying to blame somebody, and I know a lot of y'all have y'all hand selected people that y'all want to blame. I don't have an investment in trying to blame any individual person. There are multiple reasons as to why they lost this game. There are, but again, the least to blame is, to me, the least to blame is LeBron. I
didn't say that.
Unlike last year, LeBron was their best defender. I think at times he was their best playmaker. I mean, LeBron really kind of played flawlessly. I just think that there were other elements around that he couldn't control that put them at a significant disadvantage. And I think you have the personnel to win, and you don't use that personnel. You have Goodwin, you physical guards who can defend Randall. You don't play him. You have Hayes, who could offensive rebound in those first 4 minutes of game 4. He had like 3 offensive rebounds. Like his rebound in the like 4 minutes of play was ridiculous. Like, and you don't put him in. You literally just watch Rudy Gobert drop 30 and 20 on your head, and you don't even try to put him in.
Okay, Lamont, when have you not seen teams doing timeouts when they're sitting down with the coach and the clipboard and they discussing the game?
That's what I'm saying, Lamont.
Come on, Lamont. You're saying it without saying it.
Because, George, what I'm saying is this. I don't know what was said in the timeout. I don't know if LeBron didn't recommend for the team to do something different. Maybe he did. And maybe the coaches were like, nah, we're going to stick with the game plan. So at the end of the day, we don't know what LeBron asked them to do. You can't just assume. You cannot
just dumb coaches, man. Lamont, I can't give him my.
No, it's not coaches. I believe it's a coach. It's one plural.
No, it's not. That's not how coaching works.
Yes, because he has the last decision.
Yeah, bad decision, man.
He has the last decision.
Cost us game
for him not to rest his players.
Hold on, George.
You know
hold
that.
on, George. Hold on, George. Hold on, y'all. This just y'all doing exactly what I said. I said y'all just want to blame one person. There's a whole coaching staff over there. You got Nate McMillan, a vet coach. You got a whole bunch of veteran coaches on that bench, and you want me to sit there and blame a rookie head coach? I'm blaming the entire. Well, this is one of the reasons why I said the entire coaching staff. You think them assistant coaches get paid millions of dollars just to sit there and do absolutely nothing? That's a lie. It's the whole coaching staff that fucked this up. They came up with this decision to not play Jackson Hayes. This is not on one person. Y'all just want to blame one person. That's just not how basketball works. It's the
all
whole
of bad, Lamont. I hate them. They sorry, man.
Okay, and you know what? Sometimes coaches make mistakes.
No,
how do coaches get fired?
Oh,
we said that at the beginning of this stream, we talked about the flaws that JJ Redick made. He made a mistake.
Darvin Scam, I coached him then. Darvin Scam, and I coached the white Jesus.
Hold on.
He made a lot of mistakes.
So let me. So MJ, you want Darvin Ham back? As after y'all
We
ran
might
him
well
out
kept him. Shit, at least he got me to the semifinals. Yeah.
You in locker room was the leader of the run Darvin Ham out of town clan.
I did. I thought the coach gonna be good. This guy's a dummy too.
So hold on, y'all. First, you run one coach out of town. You get a new coach.
I'd rather get him out of here too. Give me a real coach, man.
What's a real coach?
We ain't got no. These coaches are dumb.
Who you want? Who you want?
I don't even know. Shit, I'll let you coach.
Hold on. What real coach do you want?
You?
No, what real coach do you want?
You don't have to change coaches. Just say what happened, what you saw.
We just said what happened, man.
No, say what you saw. Even though we don't know what the coaches were saying, what if the assistant coaches was telling him to rest LeBron LeBron at some of the in the second half of that other game?
Well, you had that 10-point lead.
Said no, and still did what the fuck he wanted to do.
Yeah. All right, let me go to Mahari, man. Go ahead, Mahari.
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
What up, man?
So, at the end of the day, bro, I do understand that the coaching staff deserves the majority of the blame for it, but unfortunately, JJ Redick is going to have to get the brunt of the blame for this. Now, I do understand that.
Thank you.
The thing is, hold on, let me make my point. I do understand that that collectively that the whole coaching staff deserves the entirety of the blame for this. But at the end of the day, JJ Redick is the final say of what goes on in adjustments, what it goes on in plays, and everything else. Not putting Jackson Hayes into the game was the biggest mistake that he's going to make the entire offseason. And it's going to bite, and it's basically going to bite him in the ass when you look back into this series. I mean, there's no reason that Rudy Gobert should have a 27 points, 24 rebounds in the closeout game. If you're going to play zone, you got to have at least a big man in the middle that can basically be the final last line of defense of your zone. But I understand now why many teams don't play zone in the NBA, because that's an indication to me that you don't have the confidence of your guys to be able to stop people. But unfortunately, the big issue was that you didn't trust your bench. I didn't see Dalton Connect make any playing time. They hooked Jared Vanderbilt real fast. They didn't give no playing time to Jackson Hayes. And then you basically let Leonard Kleza some playing time for what? It did not make any level of sense, Lamont. It didn't make any level of sense. And, you know, I like what JJ Redick has done this year. He deserves his, credit for making some good changes, but he didn't have, to be honest with you, I don't think he didn't even make that many changes. He just had to stick to his game plan. He just had to stick to his game plan and keep Jackson Hayes on the floor. Because with him on the floor, that unlocks a different playmaking dimension of Luka Doncic that we always see. We've seen that in Dallas last year when they made the finals, because when you have a lob threat, it allows him to break the defense down and then has him allow an opportunity to make lob passes over the top. But when you take that away from him, now you basically made him nothing more than just another shot creator that doesn't have anything else to do other than shot create. That's it. So, I think JJ Redick and his coaching staff deserves the blame for this. I'm not blaming LeBron for this either. And also, Austin Reeves deserves some blame too, because he played horribly and then shot horribly too. So he deserves some blame, but not entirely of the blame. And then Luka Doncic has got to get in shape. There's no excuse for you at this point to be one of the top 10 best players in the league and not get into shape. And I think that this is the time where he needs to get into shape. If he doesn't, then there's going to be another narrative that's going to be going on him for the rest of his career until he does understand it. That's my take.
So your coach is a bum to bum number two.
Listen, hold on. I never said he was a bum.
I'm calling him a bum. He's a bum to me.
You can call him that. Well, you can call him that if you want. That's your opinion.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. You can keep that. But I'm not calling no coach no dang bum. When I've already seen a lot of other bum coaches in history that have done way worse. But JJ Redick, he's a good coach, but unfortunately he messed up this series. He didn't have to do much of adjustments. All he had to do is just play straight up. And he didn't do it. So that's all I got to say, Lamont. I'm done.
All right, hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me say something real quick. Hold on. Let me do something real quick. One buddy in the chat, I made you a mod, and then there's a couple other people. Najee, the chosen one. You got to stop blocking people, man. Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure you stop right now, man, because you're getting ridiculous with it, man. You're doing some silly shit. Come on, man. You got to stop with this nonsense, man. I told y'all don't be blocking people, man. Come on, you got to chill with this, man. They ain't saying nothing. I ain't seen nothing in the chat that calls for somebody to be blocked. Come on, man. Stop that. But one buddy, I got you. And then if anybody else is on timeout or anything, just let me know. And I'll take care of it when you get back in, man. But yeah, my apologies on y'all. I see some of y'all got blocked or something. Y'all messages got removed, man. That shouldn't even be happening, man. But go ahead and cook, y'all.
Well, we need some. They need a lot of wings and some centers. That's the only way you can win with Luka. We already know his defense ain't that good. So, and you need to bring Reeves. If you keep Reeves, you need to bring Reeves. Got to come off the bench, man. You can't play Luka and Reeves at the same time, man. I'm sorry. I can't take up for him no more. That's over with. Once you burn me like that,
but the problem is the problem with even saying that is it doesn't matter if you bring Reeves off the bench or if you start him, because Luka's gonna play 30, 35 minutes a game, they're going to play together. You cannot hide it.
Well, we know that.
So at the
But
end
they
of
don't
the
need
day,
to start the game together. That's what I'm trying to say.
So at the end of the day, you need to be advocating for just either trade Reeves, which is not going to happen.
We know that.
Or you got to figure out how to make it work, because it don't make sense. Like this is one of the reasons why I say it's kind of pointless talking about roster. Like, talk about the realistic moves that they can make, but Reeves just ain't going nowhere. They like him. The Lakers.
We know
love him.
Reeves ain't
LeBron
going
loves
nowhere,
him.
but you got to do something.
No, but what I'm saying is, do something, but tell us about what they can do that revolves around.
I'll bring him off the bench.
Yeah, okay, but even if you bring him off the bench, he's going to play with Luka a significant amount of time.
That's cool, but he ain't got to start. That's what you ain't getting. Give me a defensive wing that could get lobs and play hella D, and then when you do bring him in,
give me an example of one defensive wing that can get lobs that is actually attainable for the Lakers.
When his contract done?
Oh,
his brother used to play for the Clippers.
Who?
The 6'7" guy that played for the Clippers.
Derrick Jones Jr.?
Yeah. When this thing open?
You really think the Clippers are going to let him walk?
Is his contract over this year? Or how many years he got left?
He just signed a new deal with the Clippers.
Oh, well, we ain't going to get him. Well.
Oh, man.
So we're in trouble.
Honestly, here's the thing, though. Like, the Lakers don't have much to – I don't think that there's anything they can do to make any significant changes to the roster. I think that what has to happen is that J.J. Redick's going to have to look at the tape and learn his lesson from his first playoff experience. That's all the thing you can do at this point. It's not like it's the Milwaukee Bucks where they're basically in solid cap hell where they can't really make any other moves other than trading Giannis Antetokounmpo and get draft picks. Like, this is how the Lakers are going to be. And I don't know how they're going to make any significant changes. They're going to have to get another big man athletic five, which is why the Mark Williams trade that got rescinded made no sense. They should have just went with the trade and they didn't pull the trigger. And you know what I said,
agree.
Lamont, too? You know what I said, Lamont? I said that trading Max Christie was going to hurt them, was going to be a huge problem in the series, and it really showed because they didn't have another athletic defensive wing to counter with Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels as well. So I think missing him really hurt them a lot, as many people didn't realize.
Not being able to sign Trey Jemison and Koloko is what really hurt them. Not having no depth at the center position is what hurt us.
If you saw what happened was they picked Maxi Kleber because they could have kept Trey Jemison on the playoff roster, but they came down between either keeping Kleber or Trey Jemison. And I thought Trey Jemison was an active body that can actually give you viable minutes. He's a big guy, and if anything, he gonna foul a motherfucker really hard.
Yeah,
right. He gonna make you pay. Like like when he's on the court, you can kind of feel his presence. If that makes any sense, like he just ain't out there.
He's a good screener
for no reason. Yeah, he like uses his size well. He makes mistakes at times, but in spot minutes, I can see him actually giving a little bit of value. And he fights hard against other bigs. But I mean, to just completely leave him off the playoff roster after doing what he did for the Lakers the second half of the year, that was kind of crazy to me. As well. That's why you brought him in. I thought they waived Woods.
Yeah, but he get to come back this year.
He got waived, man. He ain't coming back to no Lakers after they waived his ass.
No, they waived him because he was still injured. He was still rehab.
No, he was healthy. They waived him as soon as he got healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But they should have kept him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That the Lakers don't have much options at this point.
They
don't have really much options to work with, and that's what it really happened. Like I said, trading Max Christie involving the Luka Doncic trade was going to be a huge risk, and unfortunately, it showed itself. Because to be honest with you, Lamont, think of this for a moment. If you had Max Christie on your bench and you put him in there and basically play some good defensive minutes, like 18 minutes to give Luka some rest, that could have been enough to really push the series to possibly 6 or 7 games.
No, because it wouldn't help us get more boards. We still wouldn't be able to get boards. That's why I'm saying
sure.
The depth at center position.
Yeah, that too. Right.
Like,
He
what the
just got
fuck
our
is
butt
Marquise
whooped.
Morris sitting on the bench for?
He made their center like he was Moses Malone. Unbelievable.
Well, listen, we're not saying that Jackson Hayes is going to be like Moses Malone, but you
I ain't talking about
Reese, you
Jackson
need to
Hayes.
have a big right.
We
You
made
need
Minnesota center
Jackson.
like Moses Malone.
I'm telling you.
Right.
That was embarrassing. If you'd have stopped him, just like you said, play him straight up, because he couldn't even play. But no, the great white Jesus thought he knew better than everybody. His pride got in his way.
Great
Like he
White
the
Jesus is
man
crazy.
with him and his boy LeBron.
I will tell you this though.
LeBron and him, them two, and they over there. Now they sitting at home.
Who brought up the Mark Williams trade? Which one of y'all
That was
brought
Rock.
Yeah, I thank you for bringing that up. We should have let that shit pass. Fucking physical.
I brought that up because I thought that because the Mark Williams trade, if they would have made the trade,
Fucking
it would have made
stupid.
it would have been it would have helped.
He probably still would have played him.
Ain't no more than helped.
This guy wasn't gonna play him. Who
he
ain't gonna play him?
You need a lot. Luka needed a lob threat. That's the point.
But he wasn't gonna play. He don't like playing bigs.
When they went zone, who was playing center?
Rui Hachimura or sometimes LeBron.
Right.
LeBron should have played center.
What? No, LeBron's not a center.
He was still getting dunked on.
No, because LeBron was physical enough to keep Rudy off the boards.
Bro,
and
he's not.
He's
only 6'8", 6'9". He's not a center.
It doesn't matter.
Jackson Hayes in the middle.
You have other guys that 6'9", 6'10" playing centers. He could play center for that spell because they wasn't bringing him in.
Lamont, bro.
What other choice?
Let me ask you this
What
question.
other choice did you have?
Hold on. Let me ask Lamont this question.
The other choices they had, they
When you
didn't
play
sign
a
him back.
zone, when you play a zone, do you need a big man in the middle? Correct.
Correct.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
So what man would you rather have in the middle? LeBron or Rui?
I don't know what these dudes talking about.
Of course, but they weren't letting him play. That's what I'm trying to say.
They could have put think about it like this. They could have put Trey Jemison in the middle, and it would have been better. It would have resulted in better results yesterday.
Thank you, Lamont.
Okay, but they didn't do that. But Brown was on the floor
because what a zone does to your big, it simplifies the game down so much so that they can, in certain spot minutes, even look elite. Because they're not scrambling all over the court. They don't have to worry about switches.
It's embarrassing, man. I'm still pissed. And Draymond Green is going to...
No. Let Lamont cook. Keep cooking, Lamont.
Centers have one job and one job only in the zone. And typically, like, for example, like when I run my 2-3 matchup zone, I literally tell my big, I said, look at this circle. You know the circle, the charge circle? I said, you defending this charge circle. You don't leave. You don't go do nothing else. You don't go roaming, running anywhere else. We got everything covered in the matchup zone. Your job is this. Stay right. Well, like you literally simplify. The only thing that guy got to do is be goddamn big and rebound. But if you just stick a little tweener down there, bro, they gonna hit the middle of the floor just like they was doing yesterday, and they're gonna throw the ball right over the top just like they did yesterday. And the other team's big is just gonna score the easiest layups he's ever had in NBA history. And that's exactly Rudy had never seen that many easy buckets in his whole career.
Nope.
Y'all acting like he was out there looking like a king. That man was just grabbing the ball and just laying it up.
And laying it back up.
Just laying it back up. Getting easy lob dunks. Come on, man.
That's it. He wasn't doing nothing special.
I'm going to get mad. Lamont, this is going to piss me off. If Golden State, watch how Golden State play him. Draymond Green going to be physical, whooping his stall, lanky butt, out-rebounding him, playing dirty. And check this out. If they make it to the finals, Golden State,
MJ,
Curry is to go, not LeBron.
MJ, the whole thing is this right here. Rudy had done literally nothing in this series until the Lakers committed to playing zone. Once the Lakers committed to playing zone in Game 5, all of a sudden, Rui just looked like Wilt Chamberlain.
Yes,
so whatever they were doing up until that point, Rudy Gobert was literally nothing. He was not a positive or nothing.
Playing Jackson Hayes in the 2-3 zone.
So what's your coach changed though, Lamont? That's what I'm trying to ask you. Why are you trying to take up for this coach? Why he changed, bro?
Bro, I just literally said that this is a series where JJ Redick and that coaching staff is going to have to take the brunt of the blame for this one. I said this. You just get mad because I said coaching staff.
Yeah.
You want me to just say I'm looking at one of the reasons why they put 2 former head coaches as
Nate McMillan and all of them,
so he don't run around making these boneheaded mistakes. So that's why I say it was one of their dumbass bright ideas to put in JJ head. Yes, it was.
No, I ain't gonna let you do that. No.
That's how basketball
we
works.
don't know what was said, like you were saying, but we know JJ got the last decision.
Yes.
So we don't know if they told him or they didn't tell him. He still got the last decision. So don't do that, Lamont.
Okay,
don't do that.
George,
don't take up from Lamont.
George, if it makes you feel better, y'all blame JJ.
Yes, I blame him.
Give it to JJ. Now,
thank you.
I don't know what that little emotion is gonna do for you personally.
We ain't gonna do nothing. We at home now.
You to tell the truth.
Yeah, just tell the truth, man.
I just said the coaching staff.
No, you keep saying the coaching staff when one person has the last say so.
No.
Yes, thank you.
That's what I'm saying.
Right now, he's a bum. We got George, we got another bum coaching us again. We ain't gonna get rid until we get a real coach.
Y'all, hold on. This is y'all Laker fans. Y'all said, first of all, think about it like this.
We can't win, man.
Y'all said Frank Vogel was a bum. He won you a championship. Y'all said
he could have won 2 or 3. He the one started small ball.
MJ, hold on one second, MJ. This is how delusional Laker fans are.
No, we ain't delusional.
First of all, Frank Vogel won y'all a championship. Y'all said he was a bum. Then y'all
get start playing
Ham.
Small ball.
Then you get Darvin Ham. He takes you to the Western Conference Finals. You said he was a bum.
And didn't make no changes.
Then you get JJ Redick. JJ Redick leads you to the 3rd seed in the West. Now
didn't make no changes.
You know what? Unless
they bums.
Unless Greg Popovich or Phil Jackson comes to coach his team.
Thank you. That's what we need. He just said it. He just said
Phil Jackson is never coming back to coaching, y'all. Y'all gonna have to let that go.
They won't even be happy with Phil Jackson, Lamont.
Hold on.
Phil Jackson would have made them bonehead mistakes.
This is how you know Laker fans are delusional. This is how crazy Laker fans are. Now you got Laker fans saying, I can't wait till LeBron retire. Like he's
that's
the
me.
problem or something.
That's me.
Yeah, everybody's saying we tired of y'all taking up for
bro. Y'all don't think
it's crazy, I'm calling it what I saw. What I saw with my own 2 eyes.
What did you see?
0 points in the fourth quarter.
Game.
0 points in the fourth quarter. 3 points in the fourth quarter. That's not GOAT status.
I'm not blaming
Michael
LeBron.
Jordan would never did that.
Okay,
I'm going by what I see. JJ lost that game.
Did he make the playoffs at 40? So how you know he wouldn't have did if he didn't even make the playoffs at 40?
Hold on.
Doesn't matter. He got 6 rings, baby. You got to get a man his due.
Let's stop asking irrelevant questions, man, because then we get irrelevant chatter. It just needs to be this, man. It's just starting to sound like there's a entire sect of Laker fans that are just dedicated to complaining about any and everything. Because like I said, you go down the checklist. Frank Vogel had a really good track record in the NBA, did a good job with the Pacers, gets to LA, wins a championship, obviously only has a down year the following year. 1, because of the Russell Westbrook trade, and 2, because of injuries, right? So the Russell Westbrook trade looked far worse than what it actually was because of the injuries. But then all of that somehow gets blamed on Frank Vogel. So then you fire Frank Vogel, you bring in Darvin Ham. Obviously, Darvin Ham, not the most experienced coach, right? Good with players, might be not the best with X's and O's. But then Darvin Ham somehow gets this team to the Western Conference Finals in his first year. Y'all say he's a bum. The second year, he deals with a crazy amount of more injuries. I'm talking about injury after injury after injury after injury after injury. And when things go wrong because of all the injuries, y'all blame Darvin Ham. Now Darvin Ham's fired. You get JJ in. Somehow, the front office manages to get DFS. You finally can trade D'Angelo Russell, which Laker fans complained about him as well. When you get DFS, and then the heavens open up, and the Lakers get the most gift of a trade in NBA history. Y'all get the most lopsided, sorriest trade in NBA history where y'all can get a superstar in his prime for Anthony Davis. Laker fans complained about getting Luka Doncic. So now y'all complained about Luka Doncic, Y'all complained about him not being able to defend, even though he was just in the finals and he's a superstar in his prime. Then you guys were starting to, then somehow JJ Redick gets this team to the 3rd seed in the West. All Laker fans y'all have done.
Can I debate that?
No, hold on. I'm gonna let you do it in a second. I'm just talking about y'all track record and how delusional.
I'm finna track record you back up.
Yeah, y'all have complained. Y'all have complained. Like any other team, like I don't know any other team in the NBA right now that would cry and complain if your team was able to trade for Luka Doncic and y'all somehow maybe lost because you weren't able to put the pieces together in time before the playoffs started. Like so many fan bases would be.
Can I follow up now?
Next season. Hold on one second. There'll be so many fan bases basically saying, I can't wait till next seasons. We get a full off season. We can build a better roster around this superstar we got. It would be so much hope and promise. But the way y'all say it, and salute to Mario in the chat. I just dropped the link. The way y'all explain it, y'all making it sound like JJ Redick was just doing nothing. He didn't do anything good. When you talk about Austin Reeves, who everybody in the league, when they talk about Austin Reeves, they talk about what? I mean, this guy's game. This guy has turned into a player that nobody thought he could be. Right? He's literally turned into one of the best 3rd options in the league. But what do y'all say? Y'all cry and complain. He can't defend. He can't do, as if he hasn't saved y'all time after time after time again in regular season games, he hasn't dropped 40-point games, like he hasn't really come through and do nothing for y'all. And
can I cook you now?
Hold on,
Can
let
I
me
go
to Mario real quick. Hold on, Mario hasn't pulled up in a while. Let's get to Mario. What's good,
Yeah,
Mario?
what's good, Lamar? It has been a while since I've been on this platform. What's up, everybody in the chat and on stage?
What's happening, Mario? How you doing?
What's up? About this, Anthony Edwards is really becoming the face of the league. Even though he doesn't want to be the face of the league, he's slowly becoming exactly that. I mean, last year he took off Kevin Durant. He took off Nikola Jokic. This year he's taken off LeBron James and Luka, and he could potentially take out SGA or Steph Curry. This is just like what we're seeing. And then for my thing is, I hate Laker fans because do I think LeBron James at this age should have had to carry this team? Do I think he should have been the best defensive player on this team? No, but when y'all sit there and push LeBron James, I feel like this whole series humbled y'all. It humbled LeBron fans. He's no longer that player that we saw like 2-3 years ago. He's not that at all anymore. And we just have to realize that. And I don't like the fact that a lot of people are blaming Luka. Nico Harrison was exactly right. I was on the Nico Harrison train for a while. Nico Harrison said all of this. Everything that y'all are complaining about, Luka having busted knees, Luka being out of shape, Luka's lack of defense, you're literally saying it. You saw it in that series. We saw it last year in the finals. He is the worst defender we have ever seen. It's crazy. That's all I want to say for now. But yeah, Lamar, you can go ahead.
Okay. Can I go now, Lamar?
My biggest thing was, I think when Luka got traded to the Lakers, at least from what I saw from most LeBron fans and Laker fans, they were basically had a sigh of relief. They were basically saying, "Thank God, LeBron don't have to be the number one no more." Because the biggest question that arose when Luka got there was the haters started saying LeBron can't play off ball. So LeBron immediately turned into a number 2 option. I think, and the funny thing about it is, from my vantage point, the LeBron fans were more accepting of that than I thought they would be. They accepted the fact that LeBron, it was so crazy that I even did a live stream saying that LeBron might be the best number 2 option in NBA history, just to piss him off. And
Lamar, can I come?
Hold on 1 second, MJ.
Because you gotta let me go, bro. Come on, man. Let me get it out.
MJ, you gotta hold on. I'm gonna let you go. I'm just responding to Mario. So what I'm saying is, I thought the LeBron fans did the opposite of what you said. I think when AD was there, Bron had to do everything. He had to facilitate the AD. He had to score, and he still had to also defend at a high level. AD's gone now. You got another facilitator in. Now you give a lot of responsibility to Luka. Now LeBron can get the rest, and I think that's one of the reasons why he looked so good the second half of the year after the trade. because he could do less. So I think it's kind of the opposite. I didn't really see LeBron fans basically pushing him as the one option. I think they were pushing him as the two option, a really good two option at that.
Can I cook now?
It's on Mario to respond.
Oh, it was just me. I mean, I'm in a lot of spaces where, you know, the spaces that I am in, they expect LeBron James to do a lot more. They're not really high on Luka to begin with. They didn't want the trade to happen in the first place. So they still think LeBron James should be the driving force on this team. And when he's not, they're so quick to blame Luka and all of that. For everything that basically has went wrong with the Los Angeles Lakers, they're just quick to blame Luka and not talk about the LeBron's faults at all, especially in this series, the last two games, him not showing up in the fourth quarter and things like that. That's just how I feel. I can understand why because I did think LeBron James was a second option, yes. But just to me, some LeBron fans just expected him to still be the first option, and that wasn't gonna work.
Can I respond?
Go ahead, MJ.
Okay, she make good sense, and she's telling the truth. Because all the LeBron James fans is keep thinking it's LeBron. So what
You're
I want to
LeBron
say,
James fan, MJ.
I'm not a LeBron James. I'm a Kobe fan. You forgot Lamar?
MJ, stop lying.
Yeah, 824, baby.
Thank you, man. Lamar know this. Lamar, now I'm gonna get Lamar. Lamar, see, you ain't been around so long. Lamar, if you played on the Lakers, okay, let me take up for my LA people, Laker fans. If all y'all was playing for the Lakers, we don't care who you are, we cheering for you and we hoping that you succeed. Now, you LeBron James fans and you other fans, I don't know what y'all are. Y'all just, LeBron is the king and everybody else is sorry. You know what I'm saying? Now, one thing, let me finish, Lamar. You got to let me cook, bro. Come on. Now, one thing with the Lakers fans, if you playing for us and you making boo-boos, we're going to tear you up. We don't care who you are. You could be Kobe, we tore Kobe up. You could be Word, we gonna tear you up. It doesn't matter. That's the difference with the Lakers fan. We don't do like y'all. And like she just said, she made good point. LeBron fans, everything is LeBron, and everybody else is sorry. They make excuses for him. So now, Lamar, let me go. Hold up. Lamar, let me go, man. Come on, bro. I'll let you cut. I know it's just.
Hold on, MJ. Hold on. I got the only reason I'm stopping you right there, and I'm gonna let you continue. I promise I'm gonna let you continue. But you said we don't criticize. I specifically remember, MJ, last year when the Denver Nuggets beat the Los Angeles Lakers. I came out and heavily criticized LeBron James because I thought it was energy, bad body language, and a whole bunch of things that he was doing that brought the team down. And MJ, you and your compadre, the locker room, proceeded to try to give me 1,000,001 reasons as to why it wasn't LeBron's fault. Because remember, you just said y'all cook anybody that make mistakes. The one that made the most mistakes last year was LeBron. And all y'all did was try to cover up and make up for the mistakes. I felt like I was the only one to call it out.
Come on, Lamar.
You was out. Hold on, MJ. I'm just saying, vivid.
You're not making the true facts, Lamar.
Hold on, MJ. I vividly remember you in the locker room. Why'd you say this about LeBron?
Lamar don't want me to cook him, y'all. Lamar always do this. Come on, Lamar. Let me finish, bro.
Okay, go ahead.
Just let me finish. Just listen to what I have to say for 3 minutes. Then you could go.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Oh, wait, 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
No,
okay.
man, 30
Last
seconds,
year,
bro.
guys, when we said LeBron, say I ain't gonna get mad at LeBron because LeBron was cooking. He was cooking.
No, he wasn't.
Now, yes, come on, man. Lamar, let me finish, bro. Come on. Discipline, bro. You gotta be obedient. It's your show. Let me cook. Come on, man. You're not obedient. Okay, thank you.
Obedient.
Last year in the Denver series, everybody saw LeBron was cooking Denver. The people that we said we lost because your boy that we traded, Pretty Boy, if he would have gave us 10 points, we'd have won the series. He only scored 4 or 5 points. That's why the Lakers lost that series. And dumb. against Denver by not playing the big center that we got from Cleveland, and he gonna put him in the last game against that. So forget that. Now let's jump to what you said earlier.
Oh, Tristan Thompson.
Come on,
my
listen.
bad.
Come on, man. Let me
Solution
finish,
was
man.
supposed to be Tristan Thompson last year, right?
Wait, man, come on, man. Come on. So anyway, when we had Frank Vogel, we won that chip with the centers. We still had some centers on the team the next year, and then some of the players got hurt, but we still had the centers. But he started playing small ball, and he had LeBron James playing center. Then we got beat against Phoenix. That's when we got hurt. He made LeBron James play center, and this goofball.
Phoenix because AD got hurt.
Frank Vogel started playing LeBron James at center, bro. And then the next year, we played Denver again, and Darvin Scam, and me and you was on there. He didn't make no just like this dummy. He didn't make your boy play center. The Cleveland center that play for Cleveland now, Tristan. He put Tristan in the last game. Shaw had Jokic is tired, and we got swept. He finally played that. Then this year we get goofball. We get the new coach. That's your boy, because you came on the show bragging on him like he's so smart.
When did I
He got too much pride, Lamar. Your boy got too much pride. He didn't make no changes. He see we getting cooked, and he didn't make no changes, and we at home again. That's why the Laker fans, when you come to LA and you know for a big franchise like that, we supposed to win. Like you said, we got the white boy. We not mad at the white boy. I already said the white boy gonna give us 30.
What's
up?
We already said the white guy gonna get.
Remember what you said, Mario, about the people who never want to say LeBron James did anything wrong. Now I want you to listen to.
We said LeBron did wrong.
Hold on, MJ. You never have. Now, Mario, because I want you to listen when we talk about the people, because MJ's gonna say he's not a LeBron James fan for the sake of this conversation, but everybody on this panel knows MJ is a heavy LeBron James.
I'm a supporter of LeBron James. He's on our team. Lamar, you can go to any broadcast. She was on there because I was.
Hey, hold on, MJ. Let me. So remember what you said with that. There are a group of people that will.
I'm gonna get when I have my own show, I'll be able to talk. My show gonna start in a week. Then y'all come on my show.
MJ, hold on. So,
I'm about to have my show, George.
Come on, MJ, man. Come on. So MJ was saying everybody else, remember last year in the playoffs versus Denver, he said Dum and all these other people were doing something wrong. When I thought it was easy to see that LeBron was probably one of the biggest problems. It's people like MJ that want to say everybody around LeBron is in the wrong but LeBron. He blamed Frank Vogel. He said they played like it wasn't LeBron's fault. They had to play him at center. He said, you know, but he will never talk about what LeBron does wrong. And this is that's where I ended up. That was my divide with him in the locker room, because they just made it seem like in a basketball team, I have to start with the top. I have to blame the big dogs first. I have to talk about the big dogs. And so when I start with last year, when I started with the big dogs and I started with LeBron, boy, I'm talking about Mario. They screenshotted my community post. They had a 2-week session on it, on how LeBron, and now it's, and the reason why I know it's LeBron worship, because it's so bad that him in the locker room, they call LeBron their glorious king over on the locker room.
Which is hella gay, by the way.
That's crazy. Locker room don't know basketball though.
So I mean, look, man. Oh, look, man. Hey, look, it is what it is. Let me get mine right up here. Mine right with the super chat. My bad, I missed your super chat earlier. Mine right. He says, "Coach yourself, knowing the short leash for the NBA for an NBA coach is more beneficial or detrimental for a rookie coaching career going through trials and errors." I mean, obviously, you have to learn on the fly, and when you sign up to be an NBA coach, you know that you only got so much time to get it figured out. So, I mean, he signed up for it. He knows. I mean, he's not dumb. He played in the league. He knows what comes with that. In college, maybe you can get away with it longer. But in NBA, you got a very, very short leash. And if you don't get it figured out, you up out of there. So
That's the question I asked. Why Duke didn't get him?
Because Duke has John Shire, best coach in America
Before
right now.
John Shire. Before John Shire. After Coach K announced his retirement, why Duke didn't reach out to JJ?
Because Coach K hand selected his replacement in John.
Oh, he didn't even select JJ.
He but JJ wasn't even talking about coaching at the time.
He was on ESPN.
That is weird, bro.
Go ahead, Lamont.
All right,
I just got a quick question.
MJ's gonna be mad at me, man. He gonna be mad.
I understand the defensive scheme stuff a little bit, but I'm tripping on. To me, the scheme was semi-successful, right? You had the Timberwolves score 44 points in the second half. The Lakers' offense was the problem. They scored 16 points in the fourth quarter.
I agree.
They only scored 103 points for the game. When they were playing man-to-man coverage, besides that horrible game that the Timberwolves played in game 2, I think it was, they were scoring 117, 116, 116. The adjustment worked.
Huh?
No.
So why are we sitting up here blaming the defensive scheme that held them to fewer points and 44 points in the second half?
But Tyson, they weren't running zone the way they were running it in game 5. They weren't running that. When you watch,
they switched. They made an adjustment.
No, so you watch game 4, the way they used the zone, they only used the zone like coming out of timeouts in like spot possessions. They didn't.
And how many points did they score that game, Lamont?
Listen to what I'm saying, my guy. They didn't commit to it for long stretches of time. I feel like game 4 was one of their better games. Like game 4 was a game they should have won. They had control of the game going into the 4th, right? They had a 10-point lead, but again, they would like when you don't put. This is when you put your defensive guys in. This is when you go to your defensive unit when you're up 10 to start the 4th. And when you
I get all that, but I'm not talking about that game, Lamont. I'm talking specifically about game 5 when they only scored when they made Ant-Man.
No, because the scheme is obvious. If you're going to commit to zone long term, you better have a center in there long term as well. I don't care what team you are. This team, whatever they do it in game 5, this was not the defensive change that they had made in games 2, 3, 4, and 4.
I didn't say that.
Okay, whatever they're doing in game 5,
it worked.
The only thing a zone does is slow the game down to a certain degree. So just by looking at the lower score doesn't mean it was being effective because they were getting killed. They were making them miss shots, but they couldn't rebound. So if you're looking at it early in that game, there were multiple possessions in the first quarter where Minnesota got like 5 shots up because they kept getting the offensive rebound. So even if they miss those shots, how effective is your zone if you're giving them 5 shots to score on every possession?
I understand that, but what I'm saying is,
don't let the numbers deceive you. Just because they scored less, they got a shit ton of offensive rebounds.
They did.
Rebounded them by a large margin. They got everything that once they slowed down and stopped hitting themselves with self-inflicted wounds playing fast, they started picking them apart in the zone by just allowing Rudy and just allowing the offense to develop, and they just picked them apart by hitting Rudy right at the rim or just driving and letting him rebound.
But what I'm
anything special.
I get what you're saying, but
you need to put another big in if you're just going to play zone that much. That's the only solution. Put a big.
But why didn't he?
It's not rocket science.
Bing. Thank you, Lamont.
I agree to a certain degree.
Why didn't he?
Simple solution.
Because Jackson Hayes wasn't doing nothing in the offense, and they thought they had to spread. Because they thought they had to spread the team out. The problem was, to me, was mostly offensively. Again, the defense, yes, they was giving up offensive rebounds, and a lot of times they weren't capitalizing on those offensive rebounds. And I think in the first half they said they only scored like 4 points off all of those offensive rebounds. I thought they did a good job containing Ant-Man and not letting him get off, not letting the 3-point shooters get off. Yeah, but you got to give up something. Is my point. You had to give up something in this series when you can't stop Ant-Man and Randall in isolation.
No, they had a shit ton of second chance points. They didn't have no 4 points off second chance points.
I said the first half.
No, I'm saying in one possession. Like, I'm just talking about the first quarter. In the first quarter, I'm literally watching. Once I saw Minnesota on one possession get like 4 offensive rebounds and 5. I'm saying to myself, whatever they doing in this zone, I said, this shit ain't going to work. I said, this is not sustainable. Like, we saw from a mile away that the result was going to be the result. So much so that GOAT James Kingdom texted me 2 minutes into the game, said, God damn, the Lakers about to fucking lose. Like, we saw this a mile away. Like, it don't take rocket science when I see that you have a losing formula out there. And they had a losing.
So if we saw it, why JJ didn't see it?
The concept of the zone, the theory of it, the theory of the zone based on how Minnesota played in game 4, it kind of works. But when you don't commit to putting a big in and you don't really think this out well, and you got some type of gripe with Jackson Hayes, and you think Maxi Kleber is going to be that physical interior solution down there, man, and then it don't surprise me that we got the end result that we got.
You see what I'm saying? He's saying it without saying it.
Hold on, go ahead, Mario.
No, I was just agreeing with what you were saying. Facts. I also want to say locker room don't know basketball. I had to throw that
We
out.
all
I
know
said
that.
that earlier.
Facts.
The locker room don't know
100% facts.
basketball. Forget the locker room. That's why his team lost.
Said he's 6'2", said he can hoop.
Yeah.
6'2" hooping, man.
We all
No.
know locker room is 4-2. We all know this. We all know the locker
Low
room. is
made him
4-2.
take down his channel.
The motel room is definitely 4-2, not 5-2. So let's get that straight.
Oh, man. Hey, Johnny, what you got on this? I know you didn't really want to speak on this, man. You know you're going to have a lot of people coming at your neck.
Well, no. I just wanted to address the idea of LeBron fans again. Yes, LeBron fans don't call LeBron James my glorious king. That's weird stuff that happens.
That's just weird niggas. Them ain't LeBron fans.
That's the weird stuff that happens in the motel room. Definitely don't happen in GOAT
I
James
just said
Kingdom.
my glorious king. Oh my God, this is wild.
Definitely doesn't happen in GOAT James Kingdom. Here in GOAT James Kingdom, LeBron James is known as GOAT James. That's what we call him. That's what he's known as. We don't call him. We don't
Thank
call
you,
him nothing
Johnny.
else. No, nothing more than that. Secondly, I just wanted to address this idea of LeBron James and the trade for Luka Doncic. When LeBron fans found out we got Luka, majority of LeBron fans did not like that trade. It's not because they thought LeBron should be the head leader and Luka's going to take shine from him, because they thought Anthony Davis was the best combination for LeBron. But at the end of the day, the real reason that the other LeBron fans chose Luka and was happy about the Luka trade was because now, like Lamont said, LeBron can rest. He can play off the ball. I went on PC and told them that both Luka and LeBron can play off the ball, and they were over here talking nonsense because over there they don't talk basketball neither. They just troll as well. But at the end of the day, the Lakers lost due to a bad coaching strategy. Obviously, none of y'all saw the Minnesota Timberwolves coming. I ain't never heard none of y'all say nothing about the Minnesota Timberwolves all season long. So don't come here telling me that you knew anything about Minnesota, what Minnesota can do. Ant-Man scored 15 points last night, shot 5 of 18, had a horrible game shooting, but y'all gonna claim he carried his team when he had 2 players scored 30 points for him, and we had obviously we know how good Rudy Gobert is. Either way,
But he did other things though, didn't he?
They had to double team him, man. Johnny, stop that, bro.
He did other things though, didn't he, Johnny?
Look, they go with they had the double team. That again, y'all got
They
a lot
did. That's why Rudy Gobert was doing what he was doing, because they was taking the ball out of Ant-Man's hands.
Yeah. And 2007 LeBron wasn't double team, and 2015 LeBron
What we
wasn't
talking
double
about
team.
2007
2018
for?
LeBron. No, because y'all don't have that same context.
Yeah.
When it comes to LeBron supposedly choking, right? Because I guess what I'm telling y'all.
I like LeBron, bro, but I'm just, what are we going to 2007 for?
First of all, Tyson, you one of the reasons why I'm up here, because you were calling me out earlier today.
I was. I'm trolling, bro.
Okay. I know you do. And Friday Night Exposure is going to be available for all of y'all. It's going to be 100 men versus one gorilla.
What we watching it
I'm trolling,
It's going to be 100. It's going to be
You was saying the parade and all that, though. You got to eat that. You got to take that in.
100 men versus one gorilla. Friday Night Exposure.
No,
okay,
wow.
I have no content for tomorrow, but I will have the link available at 9:01. Y'all know I go live at 9 p.m. Eastern sharply. By 9:01, the link will be available.
Man, they gonna be at your head, bro.
100 men.
Keep it real. He keep 1, 2, 3, 10.
Again, 100 men versus one gorilla. I hope to see y'all tomorrow, and hopefully you survive.
They ain't coming barehanded. They coming with Uzis and all kind of stuff. It ain't gonna be no fair one, bro.
That's fine.
They coming with rocket launchers and RPGs.
I got Mother Nature on my side.
He gonna bring up 2007 and all 2011 and everything else. He ain't gonna talk about what just happened.
But I can tell y'all this. It's very easy for y'all to say who's not going to win the NBA championship, but none of y'all tell us who will win the NBA championship. And lastly, I'm going to leave it at this, man. At the end of the day, if LeBron would have won this series, y'all would have said Luka was why they won. So it's very easy for y'all to say when they lose, it's on LeBron. But that's Zesty Jeffrey material for you. I'm A. Johnny the Exposer.
that's what
I'm
you
up
doing.
out of here. Peace
The
and blessings.
Celtics
That's what
winning
you
the
doing.
finals. The Celtics. I got
That's just what you doing.
No, that's not what
Yep.
I'm doing.
It is.
That's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm doing. When have you ever
Who's
seen
your
me?
favorite
When
player?
have you seen me? Who's my favorite player of all time?
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade.
Okay. There you go.
See? Okay. Who's your favorite player of all time?
Kobe.
Kobe.
And that's why you're not a Laker
Made that
fan.
up.
And that's why you're not a Laker fan. Peace and blessings.
I'm a Kobe fan.
What?
I'm a Laker fan too. I like Kobe. Magic cold blooded, but I'm just saying I like Kobe.
What kind of sense did that make?
None. They got the Lakers got all type of players that people like. They like Magic. They like Worthy, Kareem. So I like Kobe. So ain't no big deal. It's the Lakers. But I cheer for the Lakers. Like I said, if one of y'all was playing for the Lakers, I'll be cheering for you to give me that 6th title, the next 18th title. That's what I think.
With
I think
Lamar
team.
head coach.
Oh, I hate that head coach. Oh my
I
God.
said with
Hey, hold
Lamar
on.
head
Hey,
coach.
hey,
Oh, you said LeBron the head coach?
MJ and George. MJ and George.
Hey, that
Johnny
might be
sent
our
me this.
downfall.
Hey, Johnny
You might
sent me
be-
this. He said this what he gonna do to y'all tomorrow, man.
That is scary.
Oh, man.
I might have my sister with my show because I got a lot of women that
MJ,
follow me.
What's the name of your show?
No,
MJ?
Lord.
Hey, it's the women too, man. Got to let the women talk.
MJ, what's the name of your show, man?
It's called MJ. The truth will set you free. So if you come on that line, you're gonna get
What's the name
kicked
of your
out.
channel?
The truth will set you free.
What's the name of your
Tell the truth, brother. Don't lie.
What's the name of
So
your channel?
if your favorite player stunk up the show, then tell the truth. Don't try to kiss butt, just like this young lady say.
What's
If
the,
my player mess a boo boo, he boo boo.
what's the name of the channel?
Oh, it's gonna start out MJ. Because everybody know me by MJ, so I'm gonna let you know. I'm just getting it all set up. I should have been and did this, but
So you about to have a show in a couple of days and you don't even got a channel name.
I got my computer, man. Come on.
It take 10 minutes to make a channel. Come on, Lamar. Cut the brother some slack, man.
Lamar don't take that long.
It don't take that long to come up with a name, man. He gonna chat
Hold on.
GPT.
Do you know what's gonna happen? Do you know what's gonna happen when I type in MJ in Google? You want me to show up when I go to YouTube and I type in MJ? You want me to show you all his shit?
There's gonna be a lot of million MJs.
He gonna be ranked like 45,000.
I'm gonna jump up to number 1.
He gonna
I'm
come up
telling
with
the
something
truth.
clever, man. Watch him.
You gotta add something to the MJ.
Hey, George, all of them gonna come. Because I'm gonna let them tell the truth. I ain't gonna cut them out like y'all be doing. Y'all don't let these guys come on here and tell the truth. Then y'all let me cut their mic off. Because they telling the truth. That mean they cooking you. I'm gonna let them cook. When you come on my show,
y'all.
you get to cook.
Hey, Mario, you've heard MJ talk. Give me some attributes for MJ because we need ChatGPT to come up with a channel.
Yeah, hook him up.
Hey, Lamar. Hey, wait a minute. Ask Mario, where's the Western Hook crew at?
Oh,
They
hold
send
on,
what clients
George.
to?
George, hold on, Mario. What's the first attribute we should give to MJ, man?
I was gonna say loud. He very loud.
His attributes are he is
I ain't gonna be loud, sis. I'm talking loud because Lamont always cut me off.
Okay, hold on. The first attribute is he's loud as hell. Okay, hold on. Let me go to who else is on here? Tyson. Give me an attribute for MJ, man.
Stay capping.
Stay capping. Okay. Give me some other attributes for George. I mean for MJ, for MJ's channel name. Olo, what you got?
Comical.
Make it fun.
Comical, good one.
Yeah,
Put in
comical.
there Kobe fan.
A Kobe fan. Kobe fan.
LeBron Glazer.
No LeBron.
LeBron is this glorious king.
I've never heard him glaze LeBron.
Thank you,
I
sir.
thought he went at I thought him and locker room had beef for them. He not glazing LeBron.
Yeah, we did. Cause I'm not a LeBron fan. He know that. I'm a Kobe fan.
Which makes him a LeBron Glazer. Get it?
No.
He has
She'll
a beef
tell you.
with the locker room. Hold on, beef with the locker room.
I'm cool with everybody. Ain't no beef. I'll be going on there. But I'm not
Don't
a
he play that
LeBron
little
fan.
sound bite with you? I didn't know that was you till now because the voice sound. He play that little sound bite all the time.
Yeah. You know.
His name of locker room. He
Okay,
talking about you right now.
Right now.
Is this all the attributes we got for him?
And you forgot the main one.
Fake LeBron fan.
Lamont. Tell the truth. Don't lie.
And he claims he wants everyone to tell the truth about the Lakers. All right, let's see what channel. All right, so hold on, George. We got some
Cap room.
Cap room confessions.
Hey, nice.
Funny. Loud and wrong is crazy.
We got MJ No Chill TV. Okay. Fake LeBron Fan Network, FBFN.
Loud and wrong.
The Kobe Capper. Capping Court Chronicles. And the Motel Truths podcast, man. Jab it. This is Motel.
Hey, Lamont. Check this out. You should have seen me the other day. So me and my boys in Cali, and we was going at the locker room, and we told his boy to go over his king because he choked every 3 quarters, 0-0 on 3 points. And then we started debating between him and Kobe. And I said, man, you ain't gonna win that battle against all the LA fans. They gonna pick Kobe over LeBron. He didn't like that.
I like Loud and Wrong or Cap Room Confession.
Yeah, I was going to say Loud and Wrong.
Loud and Wrong or Cap Room Confession.
I like that though. Cap Room Confession. Oh, that's tight.
Cap Room Confessions it is, man.
Cap Room Confessions. That's gold right there.
Hey, damn.
Hey, I'm pulling up to Cap Room Confessions, man. I want to hear the cap.
Oh, I might keep that. That might be the one, y'all. Cap Room Confession. Oh my God. Oh.
See,
I might have to use that. Oh, we.
Don't forget it, man.
Hey, you go, hey. Cap Room Confession. Make sure, man. Damn, I gotta keep that.
Right,
I gotta write that down. Cap Room Confession.
Loud MJ.
I'm about to start my Cowboy station. You know I'm a Cowboy fan.
We're gonna do Loud MJ.
I'm a Cowboy for life, man.
Oh man, that's funny.
Who's your
All
team?
Cowboy fans allowed.
I don't have a football team.
Who?
I don't have a football team.
Oh, okay.
All Cowboy fans allowed. They've been loud since '94.
We've been loud for a long
LeBron
time.
fans, us LeBron fans, just as loud though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gotta come back on your screen.
Hold on, what'd you say, Mario?
I gotta come back on your screen more. I usually be coming, but I be in the comments. I don't be coming on stage.
No, I'll be seeing you in the comments. No, it's fine. I'm just trying to be more consistent with the times I go live too. I'll be kind of too random. So no, I'm gonna start getting more consistent with it.
Yeah, man, the season over, ain't it?
Where your buddies at?
Nah, hell no. We got a lot of shit to go.
That's me talking. You know where your buddies at?
Hey, hold on. Before y'all go, who y'all got winning it now? Obviously, Lakers are out. Minnesota advanced. This next
Oklahoma.
series.
Oklahoma.
No, I want y'all to talk. I think the most interesting series is going to be Minnesota Golden State.
Yeah.
I'm going for Minnesota.
That's a good series.
No, George. Who you got winning? Because George, you profess to know it all.
I'm not talking. How you saying that's me?
George, I'm saying George. You always come up here talking about you told us and you
okay.
Told the one.
I'm still undecided on Cleveland, but I think Cleveland and Boston is going to be the best series that we're going to see.
I'm just talking about this Golden State
Who's gonna
Minnesota.
make it to the finals?
Who you got in Golden State Minnesota? Because I got Golden State beating Houston next game.
Yeah, I got Golden State in that game. I mean, Golden State. I'm gonna take Minnesota, bro. I'm gonna go a little against the grain. I'm gonna take Minnesota.
I think Minnesota. You know that Randall is the key to Minnesota winning.
Yeah,
he plays horribly versus Golden State.
But I'm just saying he's the key because I believe he'll be able to bully Draymond.
Bully Draymond?
No, he ain't bullying Draymond.
No.
You know what? I
You
take
watch
that
and
back.
see.
Y'all right. I got Golden State. I take that back.
You watch and see. You watch and see what Randall do to Draymond.
No,
y'all heard it
the
here
other way first. around, bro.
To me, it's McDaniels is more of an X factor. He got to hit shots. He got to hit shots in that series.
Yeah, that's true.
Something he won't do. Something
He got to hit shots. Randall don't have to, but Randall got to hit shots too, though, and he did that this series. It's so hard to say. It's so hard to say how they're gonna be able to control Butler. I think they got the capability to control Butler, but is Butler gonna allow it? You know what I'm saying? So that to me, that's their X factor. How is Butler gonna play? How is Butler gonna be able to get off on that series in his matchup? He don't have to score a lot. He just gotta hit them key buckets.
Hold on. So you're asking us how Butler is going? What has Butler typically done to teams he's played against? When he has a beef against your organization, you don't want to see no Jimmy Butler walking in the door.
No, 100%. That's what I'm saying. How is Minnesota going to respond to that?
That tells me right there. I don't think they're going to have an
Wait a minute. That's none of his old teammates or his old coach, is it?
I said organizations.
Oh, come
Jimmy
on,
Butler.
He's stretching.
It's still to this day he has a beef with the Bulls. And
I'm about to say, man, they're going to drum up that motivation, Lamont. Even perceived, unperceived, they're gonna find that motivation, especially Jimmy.
That's what Minnesota did with LA.
Hey, Lamont, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, what's up?
Lamont, that's this question. This to the panel. If Golden State beat Minnesota and then beat Oklahoma, will you say Curry is better than LeBron?
Hell
in clutch moments?
What are you smoking crack? What? How does that make him better than LeBron?
If he won the title, he got 5 titles.
Because at the end of the day, if Golden State beats Minnesota, we all know that team is only beating Minnesota because of the addition of Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is the team that really pushed that team over the edge. Because before they got Jimmy Butler, they were almost looking at not even being in the playoffs.
That's true. But they still won a title when they beat Boston. Remember they beat Boston?
Where's your credit for Jimmy Butler? Like if you need to be asking about where we gonna start ranking Jimmy, because he's the guy that's pushing this team over the top. Steph had this team with Steph. They looked like they was about to miss the playoffs at one point in time. And
that don't lessen what Steph bring, no, Lamont.
I made a bet with something. No, it doesn't negate what Steph brings. But if we talk about where this team
just because you need another player to get over the hump, don't mean that lessens what Steph Curry
What
do.
I'm saying is, when we talked about them being the most impactful player,
that don't make him the most impactful player.
To me, Jimmy Butler is the most impactful player.
Man,
no, just because you add a piece, just because Jordan took Pippen to win, don't make Pippen the most impactful player.
Just because Steph is the leading scorer, don't mean he's the most impactful.
I'm not saying that, but what he brings to that offense and how he gets people open with his gravity and all that, that's what makes him the most impactful player, in my opinion.
When everybody's healthy, who's the most impactful player for this team? Who needs to play at a high level for them to win?
Steph
and Butler.
I think it depends on what Steph Curry do. If Steph Curry go crazy and clearly the best player in that finals, he over LeBron all the time for me.
Tripping.
And it's hard to stop them because they do back cuts. They don't do like the Lakers.
But that's all corner. A lot of that is based off what Steph coming off them picks, what type of gravity he brings. He's opening up those back cuts by coming off that screen. He's coming up, opening up that by drawing 2 defenders when without the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of that is predicated on what Steph does. So to give it just to Jimmy Butler and say, of course, that his addition was needed. Don't get me wrong, but that don't mean he's the most impactful.
I'm saying what. As far as the driving factors that makes this team a winner, that turns this team from just being regular to a champion, I believe it falls behind Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler is the only guy in this. He helps Steph out because he's a tough shot maker. It's not just Steph that's tough shot.
100%.
Right? He's another guy that can drop 30 in big games. No one else can do
100%.
that. And he's the only, outside of Draymond, he's the only one on this team that can defend at the level that he can defend on the perimeter. Right?
I agree with all that.
He's like when Steph scores, if Steph has a game where he scores 15, the Warriors have no chance. Jimmy can still score 15 and still feel like he's one of the best players on the floor because of his defense and because of his playmaking. Steph can't do that.
I agree with all that, but I feel
Steph can impact
what you just said is all facts.
Jimmy just can impact the game.
What you just said is all facts.
He just don't have to score 30. Like when he can be great,
No.
he can win a game. He can win a game with his defense. He can win a game with his playmaking. He can win a game with his clutch. He can win a game with his scoring. Steph at this stage right now can only win games with his scoring.
Yeah, not just his scoring though. It's more than that. I think he makes the offense viable. I think he makes Draymond viable on offense. He does a lot of stuff that allows those other players to be great
sounds like
too.
Player's choice talk. What does mean viable? Well, how's Draymond Green more viable?
Because Draymond is very limited. Draymond is very limited offensively, but him with Steph as a screener, he becomes viable as a passer. He can hold the ball, and off that gravity of Steph, he can hit back cuts and those type of things. What gives him value on offense. That's what I mean. You can say it's player's choice talk or whatever you want to say, but it's still facts.
Lamont.
Well, he averaged like 6 points a game. You talking about viable, man? I mean, come on, man. If you just said somebody like Post or Quentin Post or something, that makes sense. But Quentin Post is really getting his points just off of playmaking from Draymond. Come on, man.
Off of playmaking, right?
Curry does open up the floor for the other guys just without
Come on, man.
the ball.
That's common knowledge.
There's 2 guys on him most of the time, and he don't even have to have the ball in his hands. So,
yeah, what are we watching?
As soon as he passes half court, it's 3-2.
I don't care how much he spaces the floor. If Curry have a game, let's say Jimmy Butler gets hurt, or let's say if Curry has a game where he drops 10 points, all that spacing ain't gonna mean nothing. I don't care who he got on the floor, Quentin Post, all that running around. If he can't impact the game in other areas, they gonna lose.
But that's not going to be Curry's fault, though, Lamont. It's not my fault that Draymond can't shoot consistently.
All I'm saying is he can only impact the game at this stage in his career in one way, and that's with his scoring. He can impact the game.
It's not just with his scoring, though.
I guarantee you, if Draymond,
everything that y'all talking about is offense. Y'all said, his offensive viability for Draymond. I mean, it's even though it's as obtuse and as weird.
But that's more than scoring, though.
No, listen to what I'm saying. Olo, listen to what I'm saying. All I'm saying is this: everything that y'all saying about Steph is all about one side of the basketball. What he can do to make Draymond score more points. What coach in their right mind really want the ball in Draymond's hand in a playoff game, and Steph ain't making shots, and we want Draymond to be more viable, so we dump the ball off to him late in the fourth. You're gonna look like a damn fool.
Nobody said that. Nobody. What the hell?
That's what you're saying.
You're gonna look
That
like
is not what I said.
yesterday.
Man, come on, man.
That's what you like to do. Nobody said that.
No, what I'm trying to explain to you is how I don't care how viable you make Draymond. If we need a bucket in the fourth and Steph ain't got it, I don't care how viable he is. I don't want the goddamn ball in Draymond's hand. I don't care if Steph give him 50 million wide open threes or layups or whatnot. We just literally watched Draymond smoke a layup to win the game a few weeks ago. Why the hell? Where was the viability then? Man, hell no.
I'm not talking about as a scorer, Lamont. That's where you're getting it wrong. I never said Draymond as a scorer.
So what? That's what I mean. What is offensive viability if it's not what I just explained?
It's facilitating. It's making Draymond being able to be a facilitator in the offense.
If Steph not there, the viability. Draymond's always been a great facilitator. He don't need Draymond. He don't need Steph to be a great facilitator.
You don't think so?
Steph needs Draymond. The only thing that the Warriors team has shown us is that without Draymond, Steph is not the same scorer. That's the only thing that we've seen. Without Draymond, Steph struggles to score the basketball. With Draymond, he's a nightmare because actually it's the reverse.
I would like to look at that year without Draymond when Draymond was starting to see what them numbers look like.
Hold on, I can give you an example. Go to the year they won the championship. The year they won the championship when Draymond Green got hurt in January. right? The Warriors were number one in literally everything. Draymond Green gets hurt. They drop in offensive efficiency, every offensive rating. They dropped in points per game. They were 14-14. With Draymond, they were 29-7. Without Draymond,
that's because of defense. What do we?
Hold on. So who was the impact player for that team?
Draymond is a huge impact. Nobody's saying he's not though.
Like game without him. So I'm saying
it takes all of them together, brother. That's what I'm saying. So you saying this like, okay, Kobe without Paul Gasol, he's still great. You know what I'm saying? But Paul Gasol obviously makes that team better.
I'm not.
But now you're saying because Paul Gasol out there to win a championship, Paul Gasol is the most impactful. No, he's not.
What I'm saying is when you think about that Laker team, the impact player, that the player, because they had the Kwame Browns and all these other players, but the guy that turned the tides for this team was Paul Gasol. He made
if you get better players, that's gonna make you a better team.
Listen to what I'm saying. It's not about better player. He's the guy that starts to make everything work, because insert Paul Gasol and immediately he can do things that Kwame couldn't do on both ends.
100% agree.
He also makes the game easier for your star.
100% agreed.
So,
but that don't make him the most impactful.
All I'm saying with Jimmy, but it don't have to be impactful to you. I'm just saying.
Well, that's what you said, brother.
Maybe impactful to you is the guy that scores the most points.
I didn't say that.
Okay, maybe the most impactful to you is the guy that has the most offensive viability, volatility.
So who? Okay, you tell me who was the most impactful player for the Lakers.
I mean, look. If you want to look, you said it was Steph. I think it's Jimmy.
Okay, we can go back and forth on it. That's cool.
If you think it's offensive viability, I don't know what the hell that means.
Because last time I checked, Steph was winning without Jimmy Butler there.
Steph, what were they winning without Jimmy Butler this year?
I'm talking about in previous years.
What were they winning without Jimmy Butler this year?
Championships.
Huh? No, this year.
In previous years, championships.
No. We're just talking about this year. You cannot use this whole career to justify this year. If we're talking about this year and Jimmy Butler being an impact player for this team this year, Andrew Wiggins was a guy that they won a championship with.
Exactly.
So hold on. So all of a sudden, and so we can't pretend as if Andrew Wiggins is.
You making my point.
So what I'm saying is you pull out a guy that's not impactful and you insert a guy. Once you insert Jimmy Butler, everything looks different. You just switching starters.
Agreed. Jimmy Butler is very impactful. We both agree.
Listen, hold on. Listen, think about what we're saying. They have Wiggins, a guy that they won a championship, because their core is Draymond, Steph, and Andrew Wiggins. This core won a championship. But things start to fall apart and things aren't working right. So you take a piece of that core out and you put a new piece of the core in. When you put this new piece of the core in, now everything is working like it's supposed to, better than it ever was before. Now we're in the playoff hunt. Now we're about to beat the Houston Rockets, the number 2 seed. What is the most impactful piece?
Steph Curry. I ain't no two ways around it, bro. Yes, you can get better role players to do more things, and they make the team better. I agree 100%. Yes.
There's 2 different questions I can ask. I can say, who's the best player? Steph Curry. I can say, who's the most impactful player? To me, the most impactful player is the guy that makes shit work. Because for whatever reason, even with Andrew Wiggins there, a guy that they won a championship with, since you wanted to reference past years, it just wasn't working. So you remove the piece that isn't working.
Right.
You insert the piece that you think will work. And when that piece works and it works better than it had worked before, well, the most important piece is now the piece that's starting to make shit function.
So, okay, let me ask you this.
Like you inserted Jordan or something.
No, let me ask you this. So if Steph Curry's at that there, that's a championship team.
I'm not saying that's the best player. I'm talking about the most impactful player. You're conflating.
So how do you measure it though? If he's not there, they're not a playoff team or a championship team either.
You're conflating best player with most impactful.
I'm not.
Things. You are. Because you're
usually
saying,
the best player is the most impactful.
Saying, that's not usually. No, it's not.
Usually, not all the time.
No, it's not. That has never been true.
That's not true.
Almost all championship teams, the best player is not the most impactful. It's always
okay. Can you name those teams?
Like for example, like we can go to the 2000 Spurs. We talk about Tony Parker.
Okay.
We talk about Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili at times. Tim Duncan, best player, but the guys, and they kind of switched in roles. Manu Ginobili was one of the most impactful players in certain aspects, and then for another run, it was Tony Parker. You go to literally every team. When you talked about Kobe and Paul Gasol, it was Paul Gasol. You insert him, everything works. When you talk about Jordan and Pippen, Jordan was a loser until he got that one piece that makes everything work. All of a sudden, you put in that one piece that makes everything works. Now we win in a lot of championships, right? You all you need is a impact player to start making everything work. The best players rarely, unless you're talking about Nikola Jokic, right? The best player is rarely always the most impactful. I mean, it's not too many players like that in NBA history. You talk about Akeem maybe in 95. You talk about Dirk maybe in 2011. But outside of that, you're not just running around talking about the best players, the most impactful.
I think that Spurs team is a near non-playoff team without Tim Duncan.
No, I'm not saying that's the best player. But I'm saying when you talk about a team that's already good, the most impactful player just makes shit functional and pushes you over the edge, right?
Like the Bulls.
I don't think that's the definition of most impactful. That's why I disagree. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
Manu Ginobili or Tony Parker and think that we're going to get the same results if we replace, for example, if you place Tony Parker with another random guard at that time, does things work the same?
Nope.
If we replace Manu
Didn't they win a chip without Tony Parker?
If we replace Manu Ginobili with
what
another
are we talking about?
Man,
didn't they win a chip with Sean Elliott? And
hold on, I'm not saying that was a completely different team. And when I said Tony
that's
Parker,
replacing them.
Listen, what I'm saying, because you're trying to make it seem like I said at times it was Tony Parker and at times it was Manu Ginobili. I'm not saying it was like this the entire time. You want it to be like it so you can sound right.
No, I'm not. All I'm saying is Tim Duncan is the constant.
In NBA, no, he's just the best player.
And the constant. You can move other pieces around and still win championships.
You cannot move when Manu Ginobili was the best sixth man in the league at that time, there was no replacing what he could do. He was the guy that made shit work for that team. He took all the clutch shots at the end. He was one of their best scorers.
So who made it work before he got there?
So there was other players because it was a different team.
Oh, okay. All right, bro. You got it, man. I ain't gonna keep going back and forth. I made my point.
I think when you dumb basketball talk down and you just want to
here we go with the ad homs because you disagree.
Hold on. This is not towards you. I'm saying sometimes people have to dumb it down because they don't understand what certain roles are. I think a lot of times when I say impact player, because we want to give everything to Steph, Steph got to be. No, Steph's the best player. We give him his flowers for that. When we talk about impactful, what we saw what this team was looking like when their big three this year was Draymond, Wiggins, and Steph, they were not very good. When their big three, even with Steph being the best player, but that big three was not functioning. There was a piece out of that big three, even with Steph being as good as you proclaim he is, it was not working. They were looking like they were not a playoff team. There was a piece of that core that needed to be replaced immediately. They replaced it with Jimmy Butler, and as soon as he gets there, all of a sudden, everything starts working beautifully. That's impact. That's your impact. When you get there,
I agree.
When you get there, Steph's a better version of himself. When you get there, Draymond's a better version of himself. When you get there, Quentin Post is now a much better version of himself. Your impact is making everything function like it should. You're helping Moody be a better defender. You're helping Draymond be a better defender. You're helping Steph be a better defender.
I agree with all this.
Impact. So all I'm saying is when I talk about the most impactful, I'm not talking about the best player. I'm talking about the engine. I'm talking about the engine to the car.
So the most impactful role player.
No, the most impactful. The guy that guy that just because most of the time, impact players are role players.
So Wiggins was the most impactful back then?
When they won the championship in 2022, Wiggins was the most impactful player. Yes.
He was guarding the best players.
We replaced him.
Making shots, getting rebounds.
I'm not
Wiggins, they don't do shit. He took on all the toughest defensive assignments.
I agree.
Hella clutch buckets. He was one of their best defenders. He was the impact guy that made that shit.
And then Andre Iguodala was the most impactful.
And you know what surprised everybody about it is nobody thought that Wiggins had that in him because of what he did in Minnesota.
No, I agree with that. I agree. Wiggins came and balled out. So then Andre Iguodala was the most impactful, and then maybe Wiggins, and now Jimmy Butler's the most impactful.
Why do you think Iggy won Finals MVP?
Finals MVP. Yep.
Right. I'm saying that's cool.
He's a
That's
role
cool.
player that came in and started making shit function better, and he got rewarded with a
Right.
Finals MVP.
Right. But we can
Kawhi
move all
Leonard,
them
Does that,
pieces.
Kawhi
We
does
Leonard,
that
can move.
make him?
2014.
Does that make him better than Steph? No,
Of course not.
but his impact got him the Finals MVP over Steph.
We can argue back and forth on that Finals MVP. And Iguodala was great. I'm not taking nothing away from him. He played good defense, knocked down shots. I think he dropped a 30 ball, something like that. Whatever. Great numbers from three. That's all fine and dandy. But at the end of the day, Steph is the constant, and what he does for that team, to me, is the most impactful. If you want to say Wiggins and them do their job and or role players that do their job to a T and all those different things, but them guys can be replaced, them guys can be moved, as you see by Wiggins, as you see by Butler. But what cannot be replaced and which makes him the most impactful is Steph Curry. And that's all I'm going to say about it. I got to go pick up my daughter. Y'all have a good one.
Here's the best example you can give. Jordan, Pippen, and Horace Grant. See, what ultimately happens is y'all forget the value of that, especially that number 3 option. And when the Bulls lost that Horace Grant, and all Horace Grant did was switch sides. He went to the other team. The Bulls had another guy come in at that third option, another role player, but they lost that impact player. And that impact player, what did he do? He took his impact to another team, and he hit the Bulls with his impact, and he knocked Jordan and Pippen out the playoffs because they was missing that impact player. That's why the Bulls went and replaced him with Dennis Rodman. They went and got another guy that could be that glue guy to make shit work. This is why Jordan was running around searching, begging Jason Williams, sign with the Bulls, and they had to go get a Dennis Rodman. And as soon as they got Dennis Rodman, 72-10. It's not a very different team. If you think about it from the year before, when they had lost to Orlando, this is not a significantly different roster. They all they did was plug in a piece, and all of a sudden 72-10 happens. That happens when you bring in high-level impact players, players that can make that makes your team function like it should.
Horace Grant, glue guy, 3 chips.
I don't see how it's that hard. I just think that this is one of the reasons why we give too many guys too much praise. And you got running around. This is one of the reasons why Scottie Pippen gets no love. Everybody wants to say Jordan was the impact player. Jordan was the best defender. Jordan was the best scorer. Jordan was the best playmaker. Jordan was literally the best everything if you let Jordan fans tell it.
Even from a statistical standpoint, it'll tell you that how Scottie led the team in rebounds and assists and steals and blocks in some of those series, all that.
Y'all keep saying the main key, rebounds. If you don't get rebounds, you lose. Why you think we sitting at home now? Rebounds.
And I will
100% we ain't had no glue guy. We ain't had no Rodman.
I know you didn't have nobody. You did have one. You had a guy that would go fight for some rebounds. That was Jack.
We had 3 of them, and we didn't bring them back. Well, 2 of them we didn't bring them back.
No, I'm talking about because obviously you can't talk about the past and what you used to have. But if you look down that bench, the one thing Jackson Hayes showed me, he will be physical, he will fight for rebounds, and he will stop guys from making easy layups if he has to. And when you look at this Laker team, they had 0 toughness. They had none at all. Right? Because even Vandy at times was looking soft as hell. And
he was letting guys get past him and everything.
It almost looked like you had a whole bunch of guys out there
that didn't know they were.
Well, they walked into the series thinking, oh, this Minnesota, we're going to beat them. And they did not do any scouting. They didn't do any scouting report. They didn't do homework. They didn't lock in. Julius Randle, how does Julius Randle spam you with the same goddamn move you should have scouted out a long time ago? Julius Randle was hitting them with literally the same left-hand baseline spin, spamming it over and over, and it's just like, my guy.
McDaniel, same moves.
Same move? Yeah, like they got the same move. They ain't winning their bag and added nothing new. This is just focus on the scouting report and to lock in.
So Lamar, you just cook yourself. So that means your coach who you like, didn't scout. So that's why he's a bomb. You just cook yourself. Thank you, Lamar.
Why the coaching staff don't get? Why? How come the whole coaching staff on the whole can't get the same?
It has nothing to do with players don't watch film. Players are supposed to watch film.
Here we go.
The coaches can't watch film for you. You got to watch it your damn self.
Lamont's telling the truth on that point.
Yep.
You can't watch film for you. I mean, the film study is about you watching film. Especially if you know your matchups. Okay, I'm gonna be guarding Randall. What is his tendencies? This man is left hand dominant like a motherfucker. Everything he does, he's going left. Baseline spin, left hand. Right. Whenever he turns right.
You're telling me that the team don't have team meetings and they watching film.
No, what I'm saying is, this is what I mean, George. Because if you've ever been in film study, especially if in film study, you got two types of players. You got the players that sitting in the back bullshit and fall asleep, and then you got some of the players that's actually locked in, focused, really leaning in on the assignment. Well, you know what starts to show when the game plays is the guys that was
if you was paying attention in film study,
and the guys that weren't. And when I constantly saw like Rui Hachimura and Vandy, when I saw them both allowing Julius Randle to consistently spin left, bully him, score a layup, I'm saying to myself, and then I watch a guy like Goodwin. As soon as Julius Randle tried that move on him, he cut that shit off, made him pick his dribble up. I now know who watches film and who doesn't, who's locked in and who's not. And when I see small stuff like that, I said, how the hell is Goodwin not getting more minutes just off that one play alone?
So why your coach didn't play him, and why your favorite player, who you trying to say was mine, LeBron, he a coach too? Why he didn't tell him?
LeBron's not my favorite player.
Who's your favorite player?
Damian Lillard's my favorite player.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. You is Portland. That's right.
Yeah, see, that's what happens when you haven't been on the channel for too long. But anyway, listen, I watched Julius Randle the entire year when he was in Minnesota. I rarely ever see him go right. Most of the time,
he always goes left.
He always goes left. Even when he's on the right side of the block, he'll work himself to go. He'll fake right, then go left. Every time when he does that same spin move, he always goes to his left hand. He doesn't have a right hand. So I'm looking at the Lakers defenders. I'm like, except for Goodwin, like, bro, you do understand he's left-handed. Force him right. And you don't think the Warriors know that? Draymond Green's a top-notch defensive player. He's going to make him go to his right hand when he gets the chance. Trust me.
Well, the Warriors are much smarter. I mean, Steve Kerr, that team, they also look more locked in, like the way they're playing Houston. Other than last night, they got completely obliterated. They almost made a comeback, but
right.
I just think
that's why. Yeah, they're more disciplined, and then they're more locked in than the Lakers are. That's why I would say
Mahar, what did I say after game one? What did I say after game one? The first thing I said was, it looked like the Lakers are treating this like a regular season game.
Exactly.
They need to lock the fuck in, or they're gonna lose. I kept saying it. I'm like, man, when they gonna turn the playoff button on?
Bro, and you know what though, Lamont? Let me tell you this too. Before I went to church, before it was towards the fourth quarter, because I know the game was already over. I said, bro, the Lakers are treating this like a regular season game. You can't win in the playoffs if you're gonna treat it like a regular season game, because the regular season and the playoffs are two different things. And they treated it like a regular season game, and they got cooked in the first game, and it literally set the tone for the entire series. So, yeah, man. Listen, when the Warriors and the Timberwolves do meet in the second round, I like the Warriors' chances because I think they're more locked in, and more important, they're much more of a smarter team than the Lakers are. Do I think it's going to go to the full seven? I do believe it will, and I would take the Warriors' chances in that route because of their experience and their intelligence. But the only way that I would see Timberwolves winning it is if Julius Randle plays the same way that he did against the Lakers, but it's going to be tough because the Warriors are going to make him go right.
That's true.
And the most impactful player on that team is Draymond Green. I mean, it's not even a discussion. He's the most impactful player.
He's just the guy that this team can't function at the level that they do without Draymond. It's no shade on Steph.
On both ends, too, Lamont. Both ends. Yeah. Offense and defense.
And I just feel like this is basketball talk like that is one of the reasons why the others don't get the credit they deserve. Because you got too many people who just want to pile on additional credit to the best players that maybe the best players in some cases don't necessarily deserve.
So how many games is this series going there, Lamont?
Which one?
If Golden State and Minnesota.
You know what? I honestly think that could go 7.
Okay.
Now,
me too.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Me too.
I wouldn't be surprised if Golden State took it in like 6. It's the way Minnesota's playing right now. I just don't see them only winning one game in that series or getting swept. They just playing too good.
Right.
Ant-Man right now is looking too good. So and
Right.
Golden State's prone to have letdown games like they did against Houston the other night. So
Yep. Facts. I think it goes to full 7. If it goes to full 7, I like the Warriors' chances. But here's the thing: we have seen Minnesota win Game 7 on the road last year against Denver. So don't think for a second that you can't count out this Timberwolves team out. I did last year. I thought they were going to lose to Denver, and they came back and embarrassed the Nuggets. So it's possible. So yeah, as soon as LeBron will be back though, but yeah, I think that the series is going to go the full 7, everybody. So I think it's going to go in favor of the Warriors. I just think that it's going to be a very close series, but the Warriors will have one or two games that they're not going to show up and they're going to get blown out. It's going to happen. So
it's two guys in the collective that they don't have an answer for. Now we seen them contain Luka and LeBron. Well, I don't want to say contain. We seen them beat them in the series or whatever, but I'm saying that Curry and Butler, the duo Curry and Butler, I don't think they have an answer for that duo. I think they have bodies to throw at each of those guys, but they don't have an answer for those. They
might not have an answer for Curry, but I think they can contain Butler.
Yeah, they got bodies to throw at them, but like I don't see.
But Lamont, let me ask you this question though: What are
I
some
don't
things
think they
you're
have
going to look
nobody
at in
contain
that?
Jimmy Butler.
I was about to ask you what's the key factor in that series?
Hell no. They don't have nothing. They're gonna be because it kind of goes to they're gonna have to pick poison. Are they gonna commit to guarding Steph 1-on-1? And
do that.
And the Warriors split actions. If you watch
Good
the
show,
Warriors
guys.
offense,
About to go to work.
all right, man.
Thank you, man.
All right, man. Peace.
Yep. And because the Warriors' offense isn't predicated on people double teaming Steph. It's predicated on confusing the defense with split actions. They just make you make a ton of mistakes. Right? That's why Steph gets a lot of wide open threes. You don't really see him just draw a whole bunch of like natural double teams. So I just think that when you got a team scrambling all over the place and you have to keep talking through a million split actions, and I mean, I just don't see it.
They're gonna bust them with that short roll too, Lamont.
Or they gonna have, well, I mean, I just don't see. I don't think the short roll is necessary because the Warriors don't pick and roll a lot. Like the short roll is for a double team out of a pick and roll.
Right, so right, and they're gonna be throwing doubles at Curry. They might even throw a double.
But the thing is, the Warriors don't pick and roll a lot. Like so, your like it's easy to double a guy off a pick and roll, but the Warriors don't run pick and roll. They run split actions. So the problem with split actions is if you send 2 with Steph on a split action, you're going to be giving up a wide open layup every time. So you can't do that because it's an off ball action. So that's why I say it gets real curious. I'm real curious to see what Minnesota's defensive approach is going to be, because you can't, like the double team, they kind of mitigate it with split actions. You can't double a split action. So, and Steph historically has lit Minnesota up. Bad.
Oh yeah, he has. He's had some of his best performances against the Timberwolves historically. So they're gonna have to figure out something to try to slow him down. It's honestly, Lamont, it's gonna be take your poison type of series. Who's gonna go out? Because we've seen Jimmy Butler have his greatest performances in the playoffs. So it's kind of like pick your poison in this case. You know what I mean? But hey, I'm gonna go ahead and prepare for the Game 6 game between the Knicks and the Pistons, bro. That series has been intense, man, from start to finish, bro.
Oh man, that's been.
I live for the Pistons fan.
Man, Pistons.
That's
fan,
why I
man.
really
bro,
think
that series has been.
the champion is coming
What
out
were
of
you
the
saying,
East.
Lamont?
That's been the funnest series to watch. Pistons have been one of the funnest teams in the league to watch, if not the
Right, and one of the best stories this year too. And tell Shaq to you need to start learning your basketball too with your dumbass. For real. Seriously, let me get this off real quick. Tell that bald-headed fat motherfucker Shaquille O'Neal to start learning basketball and quit
And Charles
gaslighting
Barkley.
motherfuckers.
And Charles Barkley. Both of them bombs.
Thank you. Thank you. They need to start
Why
learning
y'all getting mad
basketball
at
because
them?
they get paid millions of
Take
dollars to
that
be
show off of
analysts and they
television.
don't know nothing about basketball.
They say
Take those
stuff
two
for
off television.
entertainment.
And
Man, they don't know
y'all
nothing
be
about
getting y'all
basketball. They
knees.
lie all the time, bro. They're
Y'all be
They
getting on
say
liars.
y'all
stuff
knees
for
for
Can't stand
them
them.
entertainment.
old bums. Y'all be
They
getting on
say
y'all knees for
stuff
them
for
old niggas.
entertainment.
Not according to
Don't
y'all.
matter,
Y'all
bro.
be
I
like,
don't care.
yeah, they know what they talking about. They know what they
Why could
talking
y'all
about.
take them seriously? Y'all,
Right.
man, what is wild?
Y'all take them
Bro,
seriously. What
listen,
you
I'm not
mean?
I'm not
Take
interested
nobody.
about the
I
entertainment
don't take
stuff. I can go to
nobody
a comedy club.
seriously. I don't
Y'all
take
do be
nobody
taking
seriously.
I
stop
They
it.
on
do. I'm
television.
just saying.
Y'all do be taking Shaq and Charles Barkley seriously.
Television is
Stop it.
a form
Cause
of
when they,
Yeah,
cause
y'all
entertainment,
do.
y'all
no
take them
matter
serious.
what era
Listen,
generate it is.
George,
And
listen.
also,
That is
yeah, go ahead,
crazy.
man.
The reason why I know
George.
y'all niggas take them seriously
Who
is
is
because
y'all?
the old niggas, the reason why I know y'all take them seriously because when everybody was saying take that show off TV, y'all said no, keep them on. They keep it real with this new generation,
Who
soft
said
generation.
this?
Stop it.
Man,
And
Y'all
basketball
take
also,
them
gonna be
and also,
played.
seriously.
and one more thing before I go.
Basketball's
Stop
One
gonna
more
be
lying
thing
behind
before
the
played
I
mask.
go.
whether they there or
One more
not.
thing before I go. Can someone tell Shaquille O'Neal stop faking the fact that you had a beef with Dwight Howard for real? Quit last line, man. You had a beef with Dwight Howard because you were
Oh,
petty and
man,
jealous. Fuck
y'all
Shaq.
is
All right, man, I'm
crazy.
out.
All right, Mari. But look, y'all, I'm about to shut this one down. Been live for about 3 hours, man. We've been cooking, man. Appreciate y'all pulling up. Appreciate you pulling up, George. I mean, like it's hard. I know it's hard for y'all to kill LeBron this year because of the way he played. You know,
Did
he
I
played
come on
much
here
better.
saying anything about LeBron? I said JJ Redick.
No, and you know what? If you want to put it on JJ, I'm not gonna fight you on that because I
Okay.
believe that there were a lot of things strategically that to me, I'm just looking like, what the hell are y'all doing? Like, you know, so. You are right. Hold on, Herm wants the link. Let me drop this link for Herm. So no, you are
Lamont,
right when you say
go ahead.
coaching. If you just want to say, if you don't want to say the whole staff, I get it. If you want to put it all on JJ, I'm gonna rock with that because you know. But the one thing I do know is if he get fired, they all get fired. It's the whole staff.
Oh yeah, you know that's gonna happen. They gonna clean house.
Yeah. So nah, I just don't. I just still I'm trying to figure out why they were in the zone. Like, why do you just let Rudy Gobert? Like, why do you let him once you get the lead at 78, 77, get out the zone. Like, mission accomplished. Get out the zone. Make them
Once
go to another game plan.
once he's the main person that's hurting you, and you see how he's hurting you, why you didn't stop it?
Well, all you
Because
gotta do is get out the zone.
Yeah,
and
that's
get
what
this
I'm saying.
and play a person. Play the guy with the long curly hair. That too.
Yeah, that was nasty right there. You don't
No
play
minutes,
Jackson.
Lamont. 0.
It's got to be something else with that Jackson, that Hayes thing, because that really is not making no basketball sense whatsoever. And not playing him, even after you saw, like I say, 1, 2, 3 quarters, and you still in the game, but what happened?
He was the good factor in that game 2 win.
I'm just saying, and yesterday's game, you were still in the game in the fourth quarter,
Up by
but you
11.
see Gobert is killing you, but you still didn't put the man in. It's got to be something personal, Lamont. Something had to happen.
That's what I said. I said it has to be a personal beef because it don't make no sense.
But them niggas played on the same team though, Lamont. On the Pelicans.
I don't know. Man, look, I can't figure it out. I don't know exactly why. I just know I thought Jackson Hayes should have been the solution, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Aaron, what's good, man? What you said you wanted to pull back up? What's up, man?
Man, y'all can't find nothing to talk about now, man. That's why I came back on and mess with y'all about, man.
No, we just obviously it's the end of the season, man. It's over with.
all that camp shit over with. This was over with all the camping, man. Look, man. The biggest middle finger in NBA history for to happen, man. The Cleveland Cavaliers for to be NBA champs. Y'all gonna hate it. It's gonna be great for the LeBron haters out there, and all you LeBron lovers gonna hate this season for real, man.
Why would we hate Cleveland? Why would we hate the fact that Cleveland, if Cleveland won the championship? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Hold on.
I said the championship is coming out the East.
But hold on. But wouldn't Laker fans want Cleveland to win? They on good terms with LeBron right now.
Nah,
standing ovation for Bronny and everything.
That means Dan Gilbert was right, man.
That was the only fan base. Look, because you got to think about it like this.
Dan Gilbert say we would win the championship without LeBron, man. That's what Dan Gilbert said, man.
Look,
and
why do you think? But why do you think Lakers?
Guess what?
LeBron James. Make it sound like
LeBron James want to smoke. LeBron James want to smoke with Stephen A. Smith, but he didn't want to smoke with a damn owner that said all the ignorant stuff that he said to him, but he wanted to smoke with Stephen.
But
then on top of that, he helped the owner win a damn title too. So I mean, end of the day, man.
But hold on, Herm.
Didn't even want to smoke with Skip Bayless, man. I'm disappointed in LeBron James.
The problem with all of that, Herm, is just so first you admit that he's a bad owner, and then when LeBron leaves the bad owner, you say that
he didn't want to skip the. He didn't want to.
Hold on, Herm. I'm just trying to.
But his cabinet,
I'm just trying to make sense of y'all logic.
Step to Stephen A. Man, LeBron
I don't
Herm, man. He a whole.
Hold on, Herm. So I'm just trying to make sense of y'all logic.
Niggas that cap form hoes too.
Hold on, Herm. Let's make sense of y'all logic.
Niggas that got to tell her how it is.
Herm, come on. Like this is what Herm is saying, y'all. First of all, Herm is saying Dan Gilbert is a bad owner. LeBron left the bad owner, but LeBron was wrong for leaving the bad owner because he needs to stay and grind it out with his own team. But then after LeBron wins championships with his new team, decides to come back and make it right for the city, not for the owner, but he comes back to make it right for the city, right? His hometown where he grew up at. And then he brings them a championship, the only championship that they have in their history. Then he's wrong for that as well because he went back to a bad owner. I just think it sounds like, Herm, you just want to create scenarios in your brain where LeBron is wrong about everything. I don't get it. Like y'all blame him for everything.
Junior.
And now Herm is saying that LeBron James fans are going to be mad if Cleveland wins it all. Why would Laker fans care? Like, what is that? Like, I think Laker fans only care if the Boston wins it.
Yeah,
like, that's the last time I checked.
What Cleveland got to do with it?
He says, Lamont, they wanted LeBron to stay and keep losing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That you want LeBron to stay and keep losing. It's funny. He just admitted that it was a bad owner. And I don't get it, man.
He didn't stick to the grind and stayed on that sorry Cleveland team. So
I wish I could understand how they thinking is. I don't understand it, y'all.
It's Dominique Wilkins.
I promise y'all. But look, man, George, Olo, I'm about to shut this one down, man. Appreciate y'all pulling up, man. We're gonna be back live tomorrow. I'm gonna be back live. We got A Johnny tomorrow as well. Go James Kingdom. So we're just tuning in. Salute to Maria Knows Best. Salute to Maria. Make sure y'all go check her out on TikTok. I think it's Maria's Knows Best on TikTok. Make sure I go check her out on TikTok. And then when MJ creates his own channel, man, the Cap Room Confessions, man. Make sure you follow MJ when he creates his own channel, man. The Cap Room Confessions. LeBron James Laker content over there, man. But look out, FYF Sports, man. Another great podcast episode. We're gonna be back. He says, "Why you hate casino? Who hates casino?" Like that's what I'm saying. Who hates casino? Why would anybody hate casino? Yeah, loud and wrong, Golo. Loud and wrong, man, for MJ's channel. Bro, they came up with some good names. This is Lamont in the panel. It's time for y'all to root for the Clippers. I'm a Blazer fan today, and now the Lakers are eliminated. No, right now, I want to see Golden State get back. If I had to, I want to see. I'm gonna obviously be cheering for the Pistons, the underdog, and I want to see Golden State run the table. I love Golden State. I love Draymond Green's game, Steph. I always love seeing the OGs make a run. So shit. if I had to cheer for anybody, if I'm really watching for a team, it's gonna be Golden State in the West. Blazers fan is nasty work. It wasn't nasty work when we was nice. We just been bad for a minute. That's all. So we'll get it back together. But no, I'll be watching these games. These games been highly entertaining for me. Highly entertaining. Ant-Man up next. I think Cade Cunningham is up next. I think that's the player next up. I mean, for Ant-Man, y'all look, he can never be the face of the league. He is not PC enough. This man is running up to fans talking about my dick bigger than yours. Y'all really think they about to put Ant-Man as the face of the league and he be saying shit like that to fans? Bro, Ant-Man is just going to be Ant-Man. He's always going to, they might use him as a villain, but they will never make Ant-Man the face of the league. This man is running up to people talking about, I got 300 million and my dick bigger than yours. It's over with, man. It's over with. He got baby mamas talking about, hell no, I'm not taking care of the kid. Take this $1 million, man, and get on about your way. It's over with for that. He killed that one a long time ago. You know. You're right, Najee. My Johnson's bigger than yours. In the whole chat, so I know. Well, that's a good postseason. See y'all next year. The postseason ain't over, man. We got a lot of basketball to be played. Just OKC. Hey, y'all remember? Mars said, he said the net rating and the relative net rating, that means OKC gonna win it all. It was looking scary for OKC when Ja Morant was healthy. Ja Morant was dicing them up. They was up 30. Take who mod away? Who y'all talking about? No, we're not taking no mods. But look, y'all, we're going to shut this one down. I appreciate y'all pulling up to FYF Sports. FYF Sports, another great podcast episode. We'll be back with more sports and news. But until then, man, it's FYF Sports. And we out.